Hello everyone! Welcome back to another stream of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Today we're gonna solve this yokai murder once and for all. We're hopefully gonna find out who did it, cause I have no idea. It could be anyone. But let's talk to Detective Fulbright here. How does that sound? Talk about the investigation. I can't believe Prosecutor Blackquill would stoop that low. Athena looks kind of different for some reason. Weird. I mean, to pin the blame on a yokai, he really wants a conviction at all costs. She could give a yokai a run for its money when she's mad. Yes, well, I have him writing a self-reflective essay as we speak. I doubt that'll teach him anything. Yeah, he'll probably just write dotard 1,000 times. Dotard. So that whole yokai business is most likely a ploy to win a conviction. Truth is, Prosecutor Blackquill believes Jinxie Tenma planted that yokai stuff. Planted it in an effort to protect her father, the real killer. Yeah, right. I'd like to see him prove it. Whoa, calm down. He doesn't have any direct evidence. Hey, Mafia babe. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to another Ace Attorney. Today we figure out who the murderer is of this case. And you're first! Woo! You're the first one. We found this. It was at the base of the cliff just outside Kyubi Manor. Wait, that isn't the staff Tenma Tara was supposedly carrying, is it? The one and only. Mr. Tenma no doubt tossed it over the cliff when she was done. No way! Well, what about Prince? What about Prince? Nope, no Prince, but if she was wearing a costume, there wouldn't be any anyway. Well, Prince or no Prince, it's not going to work in our favor. Sounds like the staff might have belonged to the mansion, but if that's the case... then where in the mansion did Tenma Taro get it from? Who do you think did it, Mafia babe? Who was the murderer of this case? Did Prosecutor Blackquill figure out that the victim was the Amazing Ninetales? He did indeed. He's a sharp one, all right. He figured it out while investigating the municipal merger and the victim's past. The Amazing Ninetales sparked the yokai craze and worked against the merger. And Mayor Damien Tenma is the corrupt politician who murdered that great hero. The Amazing Ninetales' fans are so angry they even tried to storm the detention center. I don't blame them. I mean, their favorite masked wrestling hero was murdered. They must have been shocked when they found out what happened. Speaking of which, isn't Jinxie also a fan of the Amazing Ninetales? Not sure. We'll see. A wrestler's mask is more precious than his own life. He never unmasks himself in front of others. But there are matches where wrestlers battle for the right to remove each other's masks. Wait, didn't we see LaBelle in the beginning? Maybe? Maybe, probably? To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself. She spoke with the passion that only a fan could appreciate. We ought to become fans ourselves and go protest in front of the prison. What? No, did you forget that Mayor Tenma is not only Jinxie's father, but our client? Oh yeah. You be careful now, you're defending the most hated mayor in history. I just hope you don't find yourself on the wrong end of a figure 4 leg lock. Maybe I should wear a mask to hide my identity. Are there any other developments we should know? Now that you mention it, our suspect is suffering partial memory loss, but he did manage to remember something. He did? What did he say? He said he didn't want to speak with us. His exact words were, "I am under no obligation to speak with you mortals," and other things of that nature. I wonder what Mayor Tenma remembered. 31 months, oh my gosh. Let's see, 12, 24, 30... almost 3 years, we'll say. Almost 3 years. Welcome to the stream, Captain Chips. Welcome to another one of these weird cases. 2.5. Thank you! TY! Much thanks! Too bad you can't go ask him now, cause Prosecutor Blackwell's busy questioning him. I know. Why don't you wait down at the playground with the rest of the kids? Ha ha! Feels weird. What feels weird? This game, or being subbed that long, or what Athena's wearing right now? What now, Apollo? How about regrouping back at the agency? Good idea. We might get some words of wisdom out of Mr. Wright while we're there. Feels weird. Everything is weird. Being subbed for 2 years feels longer. Feels like a lifetime. Maybe I'll go read over some past cases. And I'll go do some research on exorcisms. Hey, what's with you guys? You seem bummed out. How should I put this? It's like we're at the edge of a cliff and the only way is down. In other words, business as usual, right? Yeah, I suppose so. Except this time it's like we're bound and gagged too. Don't forget blindfolded with our ears plugged up. Oh, and monsters at every turn, huh? Sounds rough. Hey, Apollo. Oh, and Athena's here too. Mr. Wright. How goes the investigation, Apollo? I think it's safe to say that things have gotten hairier than before. Really? What happened? Hey, Mr. Wright. I was watching the two of you this morning from the gallery. That was one tough day in court, to say the least. I know, but I've never had to defend a yokai before. That business about the locked room was another major hurdle. Yeah, and on top of that, Jinxie was accused of being an accomplice. But at least you figured out how someone could have escaped that locked room. Yeah, well, we just found out that our reasoning might be a tad flawed. Oh, really? Well, that's bad news. How are we going to get out of this one? The worst times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Force? A smile? Yeah, my mentor taught me that back when I was still learning the trade. She also taught me to return to the basics whenever I got stuck. Return to the basics? That's right. Always believe in your client no matter what happens. It is a lawyer's greatest and most trusted weapon, unless the client is on guard. That's the basics. Always believe in your client, huh? So, Mr. Wright, how long have you known Athena? I met her during a trip to Europe. Huh? You were in Europe? Why haven't I heard about this before? Yeah, I went there a few times to study the various legal systems over there. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I thought you worked as the pianist after you quit practicing law. Yeah, Phoenix, you should tell them about your trip to Britain too, where you met a certain puzzling professor. I did, but an old friend of mine needed help with some legal work from time to time, so... Oh, I guess you were never very far from the courtroom then. It was like fate brought us together. It's thanks to Mr. Wright that I became a lawyer at all. I know she was a lawyer material from the moment I met her, and I have high hopes for her ability to analyze people's emotions. Aw, it's nothing special. Maybe I've underestimated that analytical psychology of hers. BRB, alrighty. It's just, I thought that if my special ability could help defend innocent peoples, then I had to do everything in my power to bring it to the courtroom. That's when I really started hitting the books hard. I'm still amazed she actually became a lawyer, and at the tender age of 18 no less. Wow, that's almost superhuman. Or personal, like she's trying to help somebody she knows. Nah, that's crazy. Alright, I'm totally pumped up after talking to you, Mr. Wright. It's like you said, the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. And don't forget to return to the basics whenever you get stuck. Keep believing in my client. Right. Mr. Wright? Yes? I'm going to go visit our client again. I think that's a good idea. Alright, time to see what's new down at the detention center. Probably all is well there, right? Mayor Tenma, we wanted to talk to you about something. Kasha! Eek! Ka. So my minions have returned. Apollo, he still thinks he's a yokai. I wonder if we'll ever be able to talk to Mayor Tenma again. Silence, peddler of the legal trade. Free me from these imprisoning walls with great haste. Wow, he's sounding more and more like a real demon with every sentence. Starting to wonder if we should even be helping him win his freedom. Still, we can't let Mayor Tenma stay possessed, you know what I mean?
If you can clear me of these charges, I shall help in whatever manner I may. Now ask me what you will.
I suppose it's worth a shot. Oh yeah, this guy's weird. Almost forgot. Were those feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime really your doing?
Indeed, the remnants of Tenmataro, king of the underworld they be. The day when I once again dominate the mortal world is at hand. Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka.
The prosecution claims the feathers and tracks were planted by Jinxie.
What's this? I must breach these walls and go defend my little Jinxie at once.
Huh? Mayor Tenma, is that you?
Grr, well, now, Damien appears to still reside within my body. But I should have expected as much from a descendant of mine. Be silent now, Damien.
I guess a little thing like demonic possession won't stop a father's love for his daughter. You didn't kill Alderman QB, did you?
I have killed no one. The remnants of my presence have been constructed. The murderer is not I.
You're back?
Welcome back, Mafia babe. The Yokai's back. Yay! For if I had slain that mortal, raging hellfire would have consumed him, leaving not but ash.
Yikes! So you're saying there must have been somebody else there? Come to think of it, the mayor had mentioned that he'd been clubbed with this statue. I better ask about this too. Detective Fulbright mentioned that you might have something new to tell me?
Indeed I have. I regurgitated this key but a short while ago. Behold, the key to the Forbidden Chamber.
Whoa, is regurgitation one of your demonic powers too?
Bah, I do not waste my powers on such parlor tricks. Take the key from the killer, did Damien, whereup he swallowed it. He sought to bar the killer entry to the Forbidden Chamber.
So he wanted to keep it shut tight?
But no fingerprints shall you find upon that key.
How do you know that? Wait, is that another one of your demonic powers too?
Foolish mortal, you would have me, Tenmataro, act as some asinine alchemist? I but asked the jailer and my will was done. Quite eagerly, I might add. Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka.
Always an honor to serve your malevolence. Guess I'm not the only one he scares the living daylights out of. Can we ask how you use this key? We couldn't find a keyhole anywhere in or around the door.
Curse that infernal door!
You love him, this guy here. Tenmataro. Or Damien pretending to be Tenmataro. Who knows what this guy's problem is?
But if I had known its manner of opening, long ago would I have made my return.
He has a point there. Maybe Jinxie knows something about how the whole thing works. I got the key. Oh yeah, gotta present the statue, right?
What, might I ask, is that?
The statue was found at the scene. Someone hit Mayor Tenma over the head with it. It had been wrapped up in a large cloth before the alderman's murder.
Let me see whether Damien knows about such a thing. Yes. Something wrapped in just a cloth does he recall. A secret gift from Alderman QB, it would seem. He, however, had not the chance to see it till now, for the cloth did conceal it.
Maybe the cloth fell off when or was removed after the mayor was struck.
Of that Damien does not know.
A secret gift? Interesting. Maybe Jinxie knows something about it. I should question him about the blackmail letter too. Let's see what he says when I show it to him.
Okay.
There we go.
Why this is the accursed blackmail letter that was sent to Damien.
Apparently someone slipped it into the alderman's pocket. We believe someone, probably the killer, stole it from Mayor Tenma's briefcase. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka. You have questions, do you? Very well, ask away, mortal.
That guy is sus. Hey, Foursquare, what's up? This guy is sus. Maximum sus. Hey, Foursquare. Oh, I can't show it. I can't see the spear. Oh, there it is. Look, spear. Does that count as a sword? Who placed this in the alderman's pocket?
Very few were they who knew the letter was in Damien's briefcase.
So, whoever knew about the blackmail letter being in the mayor's briefcase is a potential suspect in its theft and placement in the alderman's pocket.
Could it have been his doing?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Taro, did you just remember something?
Indeed I did. There was but one other who knew of that letter, Damien's aide Florent Labelle. Full knowledge of that briefcase contents did that aide possess.
Then he may be the blackmailer and the murderer we're looking for.
1,000% it counts. Alright. That is preposterous. He's a most trusted advisor. He would never betray Damien.
Seems like Mayor Tenma is a bit too trusting of those around him.
Still, this is huge.
Now we know who might have slipped that blackmail letter in the alderman's pocket.
Look out, Florent Labelle.
Here comes justice. Want to paint what you don't know what color to use? I have an idea, Mafia Babe. When we see Florent Labelle again, use his hair. Not that color. Let's go find Mr. Labelle and rake him over the coals. Thanks for the help. You've just given us a major lead. Also, guys, could it be true? There's something that still bothers me. Mr. Labelle is the killer? What could have motivated him to open the forbidden chamber? We should probably search it for clues. Only one problem. How do you open a locked door that doesn't have a keyhole? Let's go talk to Jinxie. Maybe she can help. So can it be true, guys? Is Labelle the murderer? He just doesn't seem the type. I mean, he looks like a villain. Plus, he did kind of kill him in the opening of this case, but it can't be him, right? Hey, isn't that...
Grr, you dare imprison me?
Jinxie, she's acting really strange. Oh no. That loathsome, no-good, nine-tailed fox. He shall know the terror that is mine in despair. Grr, grr. You shall pay. Oh, you shall pay dearly. All of you. Jinxie, are you alright? Eek! Ah! Oh, is that you, Mr. Demon Lawyer? Morning, Jinxie. Morning? Isn't it already past noon? And what am I doing here? Last I remember, I laid down to take a nap back at the manor. Oh no, it must have been the Makuragaishi. Makuragaishi? Ever wake up after a restless night's sleep to find your pillow in an unusual place? Or that you've been sleeping on the floor or in the hallway? Well, it's the Yokai's fault. The preys on people while they're asleep. It sounds like you just need to be tucked in really tight, or maybe a snug sleeping bag. Jinxie, how come you don't have any charms on your forehead? I don't? Oh, they must have fallen off. Without them, evil things can creep into me. I say we had more than an adequate demonstration of that just now. I'd better reapply them. Jinxie, there's something we wanted to ask you. Ah, there was something I wanted to tell you, too. I remembered something else. You did? What was it? Alright, let's hear what Jinxie has to say. Jinxie, can you tell us what you remembered? Well, after the trial, I remembered lots of stuff, but there was one thing I thought was really weird. I'm almost afraid to ask, but here goes. Really? What? It's about the yokai feathers and tracks. They weren't there when I first opened the door. Wait, what? Are you sure? Uh-huh, my memory's crystal clear now. So you're saying they were left at the crime scene after you found it? This could spell major trouble, Apollo. Why? Because Jinxie is already accused of leaving the feathers and tracks at the scene. If they weren't there when she discovered the crime scene, it will totally fuel the claim that she fabricated the evidence later on. Ack. Jinxie's fuzzy memory of the whole incident is really working against us. The prosecution will probably say she doesn't remember planting the evidence. Good luck rebutting that. Oh man, this is not good. I sure hope she didn't plant the evidence while she was sleepwalking, or something. Can't help but think that's gonna be a plot point to this. What, her sleepwalking thing? Could be. Jinxie, you wouldn't happen to know how to open the forbidden chamber, would you? That door doesn't even have a keyhole. Well, it's supposed to have a secret mechanism. They say you have to figure it out before the keyhole will appear. A secret mechanism? Really? Uh-huh, it's hidden in the fox chamber, but only Alderman Cuby knew what it was and how it worked. The Alderman of Ninetails Vale sure loved his secrets. Apollo, let's go see if we can find that secret mechanism. Whoa, slow down. There's something else I need to ask about. Jinxie, is there only one key to the Forbidden Chamber? Uh-huh. Even the Manor's Master Key won't open it. That's because it's a very special room that must never be opened. Guess that means nobody entered the Forbidden Chamber after the murder. After all, we know Mayor Tenma took the key from the killer and swallowed it, so the mayor's efforts to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber were not in vain. You have the best Amish chocolate hookup? Lucky. I want some Amish chocolate. How would you rate its tastiness from like 1 to 10? From 1 to 10. Nothing here. Anything in the foyer? Nope. Anything in the fox chamber? Mr. Fulbright is here. Wait, I can't... Huh. I guess I gotta present some stuff. An 8.4 out of 10. Unless it's an 8.4 out of 5. What's this? A Sukumagamana? Sukogami? Yokai that inhabits objects that have been used for a really long time. The Red Demon and Sukudubudu. What a strange combination. Is everything to her some supernatural phenomenons? Alright. We can't really present anything at the moment. So let's present everything real quick. Samoas are the best. I've never heard of that before. I saw him, Tenmataro. He nearly scared me to death. Do you see a lot of monsters, Jinxie? Uh-huh, shivers. In fact, I encountered a Sunekusuri this morning. Shivers. Sunekusuri? Kosuri? You know, I don't know that one. Tell me about it. It's a mean little beast that trips you by bumping into your shins. I keep tripping all the time because of that pesky little thing. When it gets really bad, I stick the warding charms on my shins. How about investing in some shin guards and watch your step instead? Yes, silly. Ah, that's the amazing Ninetails. He lives in the mountains right outside the village, but he often comes to visit. Really? He doesn't sound very secret or reclusive to me. No, he's not. In fact, he visits the village bathhouse all the time. No way! The amazing Ninetails goes to public bathhouses? Uh-huh. But like a true wrestling legend, he never takes his mask off. He takes baths in his mask? Uh-huh. And he also has a towel that says, "Wrestlers Wanted." If I saw a naked mask guy with a message like that on his towel, I'd run the other way. Caramel Delights. Nice, that's what they're called now. Interesting. Wait, Jinxie's a huge fan of the amazing Ninetails. She's probably freaked out if I showed her this mask without the guy in it. What are you thinking? It would crush her if she figured out her favorite wrestler is dead. Guess I'll spare her the grief, although she really could use a reality check. Jinxie, I wanted to show you this. Wait, Apollo, you can't show that to her. Having her father arrested was bad enough. Huh? Did you say something? Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Oh, never mind. Alderman Kyubi made that statue. It's a token of goodwill. I think it was meant to be for Ninetails Vale and Tenma Town. A token of goodwill? But the two yokai are fighting. Fighting? Oh, I see what you mean. The cup portion is missing. The statue originally depicted the two yokai holding up a cup in celebration. But it sure doesn't look that way now, does it? Well, maybe it broke when it was used to hit Mayor Tenma on the head. That would explain it. I guess the only two people who knew what it really looked like were the Alderman and I. Now it's just me, but its symbol of goodwill will be forever etched in my mind. There we go. So, is there anything else we should know about Jinxie? No, that's about it. Oh! Ack! My bracelet, it's reacting. Jinxie, wouldn't it happen to be... In justice we trust. Yikes! Eek! A ghost! Arg! Detective Fulbright, what are you doing here? I have business with this young lady, if you must know. Prosecutor Blackwell has asked me to question her. Question me? Sorry, not interested. Are you here to ask about that whole yokai affair? That's right. Specifically, we want to ask. But I can't tell you that now, can I? Ha 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 ha. Oh, come on, please. We're partners in justice, right? No, no. Prosecutor Blackwell specifically told me my questions were of the utmost justice. I will not fall for your lies. In justice we trust. The twisted samurai sure has him on a short leash. So you're not a ghost? Maybe some sort of urban troll then. Now come along, Miss Tenma, to the station with you. He took her away. Missed my chance to see what she was lying about. Well, at least we found out there's a secret mechanism for opening the chamber. Let's go check it out. I just hope they let us in now. This is a new game. This is Apollo Justice. No, Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. It's the 5th Phoenix Wright game. And yep, this was the transition from 2D to 3D. Oh gosh. Oh, Mafia babe, we have your new nail colors right on this guy's head. On this guy's smug head. Oh, what an absolutely fabulous scent. I'm so glad I had these carnations imported from England. Nothing but the finest will do. Perhaps I should place one aside for our dearly departed alderman. Hey, it's Mr. LaBelle. Apollo, let's ask him about you-know-what. Oh yeah, before we search the Fox Chamber, we should ask about the blackmail letter. Why, if it isn't the mayor's little lawyers, what do you want with me? Oh, there's something we wanted to ask. Oh. Where's that ringing coming from? You'll have to excuse me. Hello, LaBelle here. What the? Those things on his shoulders are cell phones? Yes, about that. You must forgive me. This whole matter with Mayor Tenma has been a complete nightmare. Where do you buy clothes like that? Surprised? This is my own special design. It's the ultimate in functional beauty. Functional beauty? Are you sure about that? Looks a bit unwieldy to me. Ack! You simply don't have an eye for beauty. If having an eye for beauty means looking like this guy, I'd rather be blind. So, what do you want with me? This quarter cast tastes like car crash. What? Hashtag sword. Hashtag what is this person? You have a blue in that exact shade too? Well, there you go, Mafia babe. Yeah, I don't think this guy is the killer, guys. He looks so friendly. Both Jinxie and Mr. Filch said they saw Tenma Taro. But what about you, Mr. LaBelle? If you were in the foyer, why didn't you see... Ack! Very well, I admit it. That's right, I, Florence LaBelle, saw the demon Tenma Taro. So he did see something. Then why did you lie about not seeing him? I was simply trying to protect dear little Jinxie. Protect Jinxie? What do you mean? Why, don't tell me you haven't heard of that strange little habit of hers. Which one are we talking about? The one where she wanders around making mischief without knowing what she's doing. Rumor has it she's possessed by Tenma Taro. That one's new to me. Well, there you have it. Anytime you hear about a Tenma Taro sighting, little Jinxie should be your prime suspect. Tell us more about that rumor. That's crazy. So, what was that rumor about Jinxie? They say she's possessed. Not all the time, of course. It hits suddenly, then she starts wandering around doing strange things. Is that so? Although, come to think of it... That loathsome, no-good, nine-tailed fox. He shall know the terror that is mine in despair. That certainly would explain how she was acting earlier. Once she even put on a Tenma Taro costume and wandered around the woods at night. She did? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear. I wish I'd never asked. Does she remember anything while she's possessed? Unfortunately, no. She doesn't seem to remember a thing during these episodes. Memory lost during possession. Come to think of it, her memory of the murder scene was quite fuzzy. I suppose that, too, was caused by her possession. Then maybe... So you do understand. The whole yokai business was entirely of her own making. Now wait a minute. Although, that yokai event wasn't there until after she discovered the crime scene. Did she leave those black feathers and strange tracks there herself? Apollo, let's ask Mayor Tenma about Jinxie's episodes next time we talk with them. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's Jinxie. Maybe she's the murderer. It just can't be this guy. That's just crazy. Hey, we're trying to conduct an investigation here. Come back later once we're done. Oh well, guess we'll have to find a way to kill some time. Let's go talk to Mr. LaBelle while we wait. Okay, there was something I wanted to ask him anyway. If you're looking for Mayor Tenma's aid, I saw him in the garden earlier. We won't be here much longer, so keep that narcissist company in the meantime. Feels like we've just talked to him, though, you know? Well, let's present things. Yes, do you always go around sticking your hand in other people's faces? Oh no, I just wanted to show you this. Ah yes, you do have something in that grimy paw of yours, but I only have eyes for things of beauty. Now, if you would excuse me, guess he'll only look at stuff that interests him. What is that? It's the blackmail letter, but it wasn't sent to Alderman Cuby. It was sent to Mayor Tenma. And? Your point being? Someone took the letter from the mayor's briefcase and then placed it in the alderman's pocket after he was murdered. Oh, you don't say. You wouldn't happen to be the one who made the switch, would you? After all, you're the only one who knew that the blackmail letter was in his briefcase. So naturally, you... Perhaps that shot of cologne will make those scales fall from your eyes. Or my eyes fall from their sockets. Is it possible that you would like to frame me as a potential suspect? What would make you raise such an outrageous allegation in the first place? Oh, well... My only crime is being born as beautiful as you see here. In other words, you have nothing. Now, let me show you what I had to do with this garbage. You can't destroy evidence like that. What do you mean I can't? I just did. Feel a little lighter now? You've just won a one-way trip to the top of my most annoying people ever list, buddy. Is he allowed to do that? To destroy evidence? Are we done with your silly questions now? I'm a very busy man, you know? I guess that's it for now. Hello, LaBelle speaking. Really? You wish to carry my new product at your store? Oh, but I'm afraid it's my own private brand. It's not available to the public. What? Then I shouldn't advertise it on TV? What I don't understand. As the embodiment of beauty, it is my duty to announce my good looks to the world. Stop the bus. I'm getting off. Everyone wants my exclusive Jesus LaBelle brand products. It's the crown jewel of my collection, born of my long, relentless pursuit of beauty. But now that it's become so popular, it's been an absolute nightmare. You don't say. Well, they can't have it. It's just for me. It's not meant for you peasants. Peasants? This is my latest product. I'm calling it Couleur Me LaBelle. Couleur Me LaBelle. A dazzling hair color that you can wash out with just water. Guess that means you can't sweat. I have 7 colors in all. You can find out more in my commercials and magazine ads. Yet, it's not available to the public. Great sales strategy there, genius. Come to think of it, Mr. LaBelle, your hair color's changed since the last time we met. The little lady has quite the discerning eye. Here's a little sample. Consider it a gift for one who truly appreciates beauty. Oh, Apollo, what should I do? Better take it before you get a face full of cologne. Good point. Wow, thanks, Mr. LaBelle. That is a felony. So yeah, he's in trouble now. Except, they're not gonna arrest him because he's just so beautiful. Fox Chamber. We still gotta find that secret mechanism for opening the Forbidden Chamber. Ah, what a guy, guys. What a guy. Okay, let's find that secret mechanism for opening the Forbidden Chamber. Ooh, this is so exciting. I can't wait to see how it works. But do you really think the killer entered the Forbidden Chamber? We'll just have to open it to find out. We should also see if there was anywhere the killer could have hid in this room. Okay, let's get started. Apparate, Apollo, apparate. Did I say that right or wrong? Probably. Still no keyhole, huh? Yeah, and the door won't budge, just like those spiky bangs of yours. Well, all it takes is some water, but I don't think that would work on the door. Oh, I know. I'll break it down with a body slam. I seriously doubt you could do that. How do you know if I haven't even tried? No, wait, don't. Ugh. As much as you hate losing, Athena, I think the door would win this match. Well, what about the Chandel Fox statue? There's a carving of the nine-tailed fox over the door, and statues of him on either side. The way those two statues are glaring, it's like they're guarding the door from us. Come to think of it, there are two foxes on the folding screen as well. It can't be a coincidence, can it? Hey, the statue moves. Don't get carried away now. I mean, who knows? It might trigger a trap. I can handle it. If a spear comes shooting my way, I'll snatch it out of the air. After all, I have the reflexes of a regular karate kid. I guess you can catch something that fast out of midair. You can accomplish anything. Still, there might be something to the fact that these fox statues rotate. Maybe there's something around here that shows the position they should be in. Oh, great. This, maybe? Two foxes standing back to back are depicted on this elegant folding screen. Could this have something to do with the keyhole? Wait a minute. Two foxes. There are two fox statues in front of the Forbidden Chamber as well. Feels like I'm playing Detective Pikachu now. Maybe the keyhole will appear if we do something to this folding screen. I don't see anything unusual about it. Well, it does have two foxes on it, and there are two fox statues in front of the door. Then maybe there's a clue somewhere in this room. Let's turn the whole place upside down. She's as excited as a kid in a candy store. We've examined everything here, except the window. There's a cliff outside this window. Makes it pretty impossible to get out this way. When I hear things like that, it just makes me want to try. Never say never, right? But I could get out this way. Erg. No, wait, you have a death wish or something? Tisk. It won't even open wide enough for me to squeeze through. Guess I lost that bet. That loss just saved your life. You dummy. There really is no escaping here through the air duct. And here we went through all the trouble of bringing a ladder to check it out. That's not a ladder, Apollo. It's a step ladder. What's the difference? They both have the word ladder in them. What's the difference? Oh, I know. Let's play rock, paper, scissors to decide who's right. You're way too competitive, and it's not even related to the original issue either. And so the conversation continues. About the stupid ladder and the... Hey, Angel Love! The ladder joke is back. How you doing today, Angel Love? Welcome to the ending of this case, maybe, hopefully. Maybe the killer hid under this table. That would be a terrible hiding place. The alderman's body would have been right above. Maybe you're right. Guess the underside is a bit... Wait, There's something under the table. Let's check it out. Oh. Oh. Hey, look. There's something down here. It looks like a piece of something. One question is, a piece of what? Oh, I know. It might be the piece of this statue. Remember what Jinxie said? You're tired today? Oh no. Must have had a long day at the schools, huh? Well, I'm glad you're here, my friend. The statue originally depicted two yokai holding up the cup. It was a symbol of goodwill. So this piece broke off and rolled under the table? Yay! Well, can't think of anywhere else to look. You find anything, Apollo? We'll never find a keyhole to the Forbidden Chamber at this rate. There's something about that folding screen. You know how those fox statues in front of the Forbidden Chamber move? That screen might be a clue as to how we're supposed to position them or something. Hey, I bet you're right. Let's go over that screen with a fine-tooth comb. Examine again. On closer inspection, I think there's more to this screen than meets the eye. Let's check every last inch of it. I can rotate the folding screen with blah blah blah. If I spot anything of interest, I can press A to inspect further. You can always zoom in and out with X and B to get a better look. Let's check every last inch of it. So what's the deal, guys, eh? Doesn't it look like the picture here has been cut off at both ends? Now that you mention it, looks like there's supposed to be doors on both ends, but they're cut in half. Maybe those doors symbolize the Forbidden Chamber's door. Yeah, definitely feels like something significant, but the question is what? What? What's this? Looks like a keyhole or something. Think it could be a keyhole to the Forbidden Chamber? No, it's just a picture. Still, you know what they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's a picture of a key? The shape looks awfully familiar. Oh, I know. It's shaped like the Forbidden Chamber's key. Wait, what about that keyhole drawn on the center of the screen? You think the two are related? A key and a keyhole? Ooh, I just got an idea. We folded the screen up just right, the key and keyhole should overlap. Hey, I think you're right. Let's give it a try. Look, a door. Yeah, and it's open too. The two foxes are now facing each other, so... Hey, what if we made those fox statues face each other? Apollo, let's go check out those two statues. Okay, help me move the two statues so they face each other, just like on the screen. Awesome. Look, a lock appeared. Now we can use that key. Okay, here goes nothing. It worked! Time to see why this chamber's so forbidden. What secrets could it hold, I wonder? It's LaBelle. LaBelle's in the chamber, and he's dead. No! What about the beginning of the case, then? Creak thud. These doors need some serious oil. Ah! That was like nails on a chalkboard. Oh, right. Forgot about those super good ears of yours. Look! More feathers. Ooh. Whoa. Eek! What the heck is that? Is that a Tenmataro statue? But there's something odd about it. All I know is I don't like it, but I can't explain why. You okay, Athena? You look kinda pale. You're not scared, are you? What? Of this thing? Don't make me laugh. Heh, heh. Really? Hey, look. What is it? Over there on the left, there's a bunch of staves on the rack. They kind of look like the staff we saw earlier. You mean the one Jinxie said she saw Tenmataro carrying? Yeah, I bet our Tenmataro impersonator really did come in here at some point. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's search the place. My goodness, guys. Whoa, that's one big statue. Must be something like 15 feet tall. And look, this Tenmataro has a staff. But the Tenmataro in the scroll didn't have one. I wonder why. I feel like this could be significant, but why? Let's take a closer look. First, to go around this table here. Ah, Apollo, are you sure that's a good idea? Hey, it looks like there's some sort of a compartment in the base of the statue. Don't open it. Who knows what might be in there? It's just a big empty compartment. And from all that dust and cobwebs... Oh, I say it hasn't been opened in a really long time. That's enough, Apollo. Let's shut it and... Wait, there is something in here. Looks like some sort of figure, but it's so dusty, I can't tell what it's supposed to be. Wonder what it's doing here. Well, well, well. A stone lantern. Like those Japanese garden lamps? Where's the switch? Lamps like these are lit by fire, not electricity, so there's no switch. Oh, here it is. What? It was hidden out of sight. I see Tenmataro's cell has been outfitted with all the amenities a yokai could want. Well, that's just peachy. Looks like an old scroll, and there's something drawn on it. Oh, unless I'm mistaken, it looks like an old guy. Some sort of monk, maybe. A monk? What are you talking about? You know, people that take walks in the mountains as a form of spiritual training. Wouldn't that just be a hiker? The guy in this picture doesn't look like he's doing this for fun, Athena. Oh look, there's some yellow thing strapped to his back. Whoa. It's turning into Tenmataro. What's this scroll getting at? Is this how Tenmataro was born? Well, whatever it is, it's definitely creepy. Feathers. Black feathers. They look exactly like the ones in the fox chamber. That means the killer must have been in here at some point. The question is, why? Maybe the Tenmataro costume was hidden in here. I mean, if someone carried it through the manor, it would have stuck out like a sore thumb. But when did the killer get in here? The mayor snatched the forbidden chamber key when the killer hit him on the head. That means the killer could have only gotten in here before the murder. Wow, this is one tough riddle, all right. And what is this? What's this? Whatever it is, the packaging is really gaudy. And the fact that there's no dust on it means it hasn't been here very long. Oh, it's hand cream. Let's see what brand it is. Jesus Lebel? Lebel? What the? But then, wouldn't that mean Mr. Lebel was here? I guess so. But why? Well, whoever was dressed up like Tenmataro must have taken a staff from here in the Forbidden Chamber. And that same person probably dropped this hand cream at the time. In other words, the Tenmataro impersonator where you're looking for is none other than... Florent Lebel! This might be a big break for us in court tomorrow. Now all we have to do is get the truth out of Mayor Tenma. I still say it can't be him, though. Whoops. Stone lantern, yeah. Hey, there's a bunch of staves here, and it looks like one's missing. The Tenmataro jinx he saw must have taken it. I have to agree. This looks like the one Detective Fulbright showed us. Why do you think there are so many here? Maybe there's spares. Tenmataro might be, absent-minded or something. But the fact that he has a spare staves handy, well, it shows that he's aware of his faults and he's trying to deal with them. Or at least that's my take on it. Maybe this will remind her to deal with her own faults. But I won't hold my breath. There's a rock. Looks like the gravestone or something. A gravestone. It reads, "Here lies Tenmataro, age 80. Cause of death, choked on a chicken bone." Gasp. Say it ain't so. Besides, that sounds more like an autopsy report than an epitaph, if you ask me. Wait, you're joking around because you're scared. It's your coping mechanisms.
I'm not scared. Freak out central, right here, baby. Cut it out, widget.
Denial is strong in this one. Oh, look, there's an air vent here, too. I guess even forbidden chambers need proper ventilation. But I don't think anyone could reach this one either. Yeah, there's nothing to stand on around here. Wonder where this vent leads. Well, the Fox Chamber's vent didn't branch this way, so maybe it doesn't have anything to do with this case after all. Guess that's about wraps it up. What now? We should probably talk to some of the witnesses again. You mean like Mr. Filch and Jinxie? Yeah, I really want to ask Mr. Filch about the village superstitions in Tenmataro. Okay. Guess we're out of here then. He didn't kill the guy, bro, trust me. Hey, Mr. Cool. How you doing today? Welcome to game. Where we find the murderer, maybe, today.
It's the curse of Tenmataro.
Eek!
Oh. You outsiders are ignoring them superstitions at our peril. Mind your own business, will ya?
Ag!
Youch. What's all this about, a curse? Tenmataro's gonna curse you unless you stop sticking your nose where it don't belong. Stop the investigation. Listen to what them superstitions say.
Right. How about obeying the law before you go obeying the superstitions?
Huh?
Hey, what are you doing with Widget around your neck? He's mine. You know better than to go stealing people's stuff like that. Same goes for my bracelet.
Sorry. I promise I won't do it again.
Will he? Tisk, he almost kidnapped my sweet little Widget. The big jerk!
I'm sorry.
I guess you can't teach an old raccoon dog new tricks. As long as we have him here, I guess we should ask him about what happened.
What a guy.
I can't believe you did that. It's one thing to steal a pair of shoes, but to steal a Widget? Gah!
Yipes. Mercy. I can't seem to control myself. It's the thieving blood running in my veins.
Thieving blood? What's that supposed to mean?
Hehehe, glad you asked. The infamous bandit Azuki Koza was my grandpappy. Take a gander at this.
What exactly am I looking at? Looks like another one of those yokai to me.
It's none other than the Azuki Kozo. Robbed from the rich and to give to the poor, he did. I need to leave one of these figures at the scene of the crime. What's more, I'm his grandson, because he was my grandpappy.
Well, you don't say. He did steal again. He sure did.
Thieves' honor, it's the honest truth.
Ah, the sloshing sound of an Azuki bean scraping together in the dead of night. It's the magical sound of dirty money getting washed clean for giving out to the poor. I'm Azuki Kozo, washer of money, giver outer of wealth reborn. Forget the money. You should be washing yourself of this nasty habit. Wait a second. This figure looks familiar. Yes, it looks like the old dusty figure we found in the Forbidden Chamber.
Oh. Hey, what are you doing with that there figure?
Oh, this? We found it in the Forbidden Chamber. Looks like it's been there practically forever.
Could mean my grandpappy broke into the Forbidden Chamber way back.
Hey, that reminds me. He once told me there's treasure in that there chamber. Treasure? Treasure? What do you know about the treasure in the Forbidden Chamber?
Only that it's the greatest get rich quick chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there.
There's something amazing in there? Didn't see anything like that, though. Your grandfather didn't by chance already steal it, did he?
Seeing now there was one of his figures in there, that just might be. That's Grandpappy for ya. But he washed that treasure up real good before handing it out to the poor.
Oh, of course, because he was so righteous. In court, you mentioned seeing Tenmataro near the scene of the crime.
Sorry I didn't come clean right away, but them superstitions got the better of me.
The people of Ninetales sure seem like a superstitious bunch. I'm not surprised you wouldn't want to talk about seeing Tenmataro.
Darn right, them superstitions scare me out of my wits, I tell you. That's why I'm gonna do exactly what they say from now on.
So you plan on staying here in Ninetales?
Yep, I'm gonna keep living near right here and I keep with the old ways, just like Grandpappy did. Them superstitions are like a rule book to me.
Wait, so you're saying you actually believe in those old wives' tales?
Ain't you been listening to a word I said?
You're going to do exactly what them superstitions say? Let's say that's baloney. No idea. This one maybe? It's clearly written right here. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your imminent departure from the village. So according to this, you shouldn't even be here, let alone talking with us. You said you plan on staying right here in Ninetales Vale, but if you really believe in the superstitions, you would have been long gone by now.
Ooh,
I know you've been lying to me.
Time to come clean, Mr. Filch. Yipes.
Yeah, what's the deal, dude? You were lying about believing in the superstitions, weren't you?
Sorry, but I didn't have no choice.
So what was the real reason why you couldn't talk about seeing Tenmataro?
It's all that pretty boy's fault, Mr. LaBelle, if you know what I mean. He told me not to say a word about seeing Tenmataro. Said if I did, he'd do to me with them superstitions, said would happen.
So it was Mr. LaBelle who muzzled you. Why would Mr. LaBelle want to scare you into silence?
Mr. LaBelle was trying to protect that little maid gal. That was on account of that rumor, the one about her being possessed.
That rumor again. Guess we really do have to talk to Mayor Tenma about the possession rumor. Ouch! Hey, watch it! Village superstition stolen by Phineas Filch.
I'll be taking this back now.
Hehehehe. Kinda like family to me. You could have just asked instead of stealing it. Was that all we wanted to ask Mr. Filch? Yeah, I think that was it. Let's go see Mr. Tenmataro one more time. Just thinking about dealing with that yokai again makes me just want to say pass. Oh man. You knew it. You knews it. How's stream been? It's been good. We're slowly getting through this game, but getting through it nonetheless. And having a good time. But how are you? Lord Tenma, your attorneys are here to see you, your malevolence. Why are you speaking like that? Oh, Mayor Tenma, you've returned. Yes, well, Jixie came by earlier to apply a new charm to my head. It seems to be suppressing the demon within me. That's a relief. Maybe we'll actually get somewhere this time. Objection! Hey, Stars over Hyrule. What's up? How was your Tears of the Kingdoms? Still procrastinating? I gotcha. I hope you do it well. So, what can I do for you today? I'd like to ask about the rumor that Jinxie is possessed. Ah. She allegedly left the yokai evidence at the scene while under the demon's power. At least that's what the prosecution is going to claim at tomorrow's trial. Heh. Huh?
No match is this warding charm for me. Arg, the charm!
Tenmataro's back!
Those foolish mortals, they shall regret blaming that child for my doings. Arg, I blew it. That question brought that yokai back.
He probably won't drop the act until Jinxie's name is cleared either.
Welp!
Here we go again. Oh, not again. We'd like to ask you about something your aide Florent LaBelle mentioned. Did you know Jinxie is rumored to be possessed?
I know not of what you speak.
You're not trying to protect Jinxie, are you?
I, Tenmataro, demon lord of the yokai, protect a mere mortal. No affections do I possess for your race of humans.
It was good. Got 3 shrines, a full tower, and so many chests. Awesome. You are good to go now, right? Please, we already proved there was a third party disguised as a yokai at the scene. But if you deny that tomorrow, we will never be able to clear Mayor Tenma's name.
But I have already told you, I know not of what you speak.
I don't think we'll get anything more out of him. It's all over unless we can somehow prove that Jinxie didn't plant that yokai evidence. Hey Apollo, I think I've got this one. I think I can prove that she didn't do it. Really? Sure. I should be able to use psychology to explain the whole possession thing. Knock yourself out then. Wow, Athena's really something. I can really count on her when it counts.
The real story.
Mayor Tenma, Jinxie isn't possessed. I believe her so-called possession episodes are a form of somnambulism. Somnambulism? You mean sleepwalking? Yes, I believe she is exhibiting a rare form of the disorder. It's usually brought on by repressed stress. Mr. Mayor, didn't her symptoms start soon after she began her job in Ninetales Vale?
When the child visited last, she did speak of dreading yokai and how they rob her of sleep each night.
I knew it! That lack of sleep is causing her to enter an unconscious state. And that means she can't be trying to protect you. Or at least not on a conscious level. So then, the Tenmataro that was spotted at the manor wasn't Jinxie.
Who's my favorite mod?
All of them. I don't have favorites.
All of them are my favorites. If I got Ganondorf?
Not really. Not yet. You got some more stuff to do first.
Hee.
That would indeed explain the matter. Look, Tenmataro's spirit. It's left the mayor's body. Can you tell us the truth now, Mayor Tenma?
Very well. It's the least I can do for a superb exorcist such as you.
Mayor Tenma, you didn't leave those feathers and tracks at the scene, did you?
I did not. Neither I nor Jinxie have anything to do with that.
That
was the killer's doing, no doubt.
I knew it.
You suspect Florent is behind all this. But why?
Did he really want Ninetales Vale that badly? Can you think of any reason why? Looking back, he did seem fixated on Tenmataro for a spell.
Ah, could it be? Perhaps he was attempting to release Tenmataro.
That's crazy. Are you saying that yokai is real?
Whatever the case, Tenmataro brings nothing but pain and misfortune. It's as the superstitions warn. You must not gaze upon him nor free him from his prison.
But, how can people actually believe that? Well, at least we know who's behind this whole Tenmataro thing now.
Yeah, and I think we need to have another nice long chat with Mr. LaBelle.
Your dinner is ready, Your Malevolence.
Ah, an offering to the Demon King. You may place it right there.
The kitchen guard poured their heart and soul into making it.
Did they now? Souls happen to be a favorite of mine. Just hold the hearts next time. Ka.
Yes, Your Malevolence, I'll remember that. How long is he planning to keep up this yokai charade? Well, we've already talked to Mr. Filch and Mayor Tenma, so why don't we go see Florent LaBelle next, now that we know the truth? He won't be able to claim that the Tenmataro was Jinxie or the mayor anymore. But the real question is, how are we going to get him to admit it was him?
People need to know?
No, I don't pick favorites. That's not what a real streamer does. Okay, now let's practice that again, Filchy, from the top.
Mr. LaBelle was in the foyer at the time of the crime. And when we, heard a scream, heck, what was the next part again? Arg!
Hey, Mafia babe. Did you paint your nails blue already? Because his hair is purple now.
That's how you get the man to admit?
Just screaming at him. Yell objection. You have the memory capacity of a flea. This is the 13th time, you know. 30th time. Now 100 times more and we're done. What on earth are they practicing?
Aw, I ain't cut out for this. Whoopsie daisy.
Ow.
Oh, begging your pardon, Mr. LaBelle, sir. It's just all this practice. Yipes.
Unbelievable. What if you had sullied my outfit with those grubby paws of yours? Did Filch filch LaBelle's wallet just now? So, what do you think they're up to this time, Apollo? Oh, it's you two. Eavesdropping, are we? You peasants are so tacky. Well, what do you want with me? Your confession to being the Tenmataro imposter would be nice right about now.
You love theft.
You love theft. Mr. Filch filled me in on a conversation you two had, and about how you told him not to say a word about seeing Tenmataro. Filch, you fool! Yipes! I told you nothing good would come of you running your mouth. So why did you want to keep Mr. Filch quiet like that, Mr. Oh, why did you want to do that, Mr. LaBelle? Ha 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 ha! Why, to protect a darling little Jinxie, of course. But Jinxie was never really possessed. She was sleepwalking. Being asleep at the time, she couldn't have been consciously trying to protect the mare. That also means she couldn't have possibly been Tenmataro. Interesting, but where are you going with this? Since you ask so politely, I believe you have a different reason for trying to keep Mr. Filch quiet. The reason would be to deflect a doubt away from the one who was really Tenmataro. Oh, this is getting interesting. Are you insinuating that I'm Tenmataro? So sorry to disappoint, but I'm nothing of the sort.
That's right, Mr. LaBelle even told me Tenmataro was a jinx, so why would he yell ouch?
I said Tenmataro was Jinxie, you fool. Honestly, you have the memory capacity of a flea. Practice it 100 more times.
Yipes.
So, have you been called to testify tomorrow? Yes, and I'm so looking forward to my courtroom debut. But you'll just have to wait until then.
Oh, I'll be waiting with a special piece of evidence I've been saving just for you.
Filchy, wake up, you lazy bones.
Huh? What? Was I sleeping? Yawn. Must have been that sweet cologne of yours, Mr. LaBelle. Made me right sleepy, it did.
Well, it's time for your lesson on what to do and say tomorrow.
Oh, I'm begging ya, not another lesson. They ain't cut out for this thinking and remembering stuff. Arg! Right up the schnozzle, Slala.
Keep quiet and do exactly as I say.
No, please. Anything but another lesson.
Does look like a bird. Which one? The, old guy? There they go. Missed our chance to get the truth out of him. Yeah, but we'll get the proof we need in court tomorrow, one way or another. All that's left now is that lie Jinxie told. Better go clear that up before tomorrow. You think they're done questioning Jinxie? Maybe. Let's go see if she's over on Yokai Lane shopping for more charms. Oh, Mr. LaBelle. Gotcha. Accursed nine-tailed fox. The time for setting the score is nigh. My grudge has been festered over time. At least, vengeance will be mine. Grr, grr. He must be possessed, or sleepwalking again. Maybe if I speak softly, I won't startle her and get a charm plastered on my forehead. Psst, Jinxie. Huh? Oh, hello, Mr. Demon Lawyer. Ah, my charms must have fallen off again. Phew. Guess I can avoid a charm slap by toning down my cords of steel. Are they done questioning you, Jinxie? Uh-huh. And on the way back, I stopped here to buy a new charm that was just released. Yeah, which one? Oh, the one with the nine-tails fox and Tenmataro. It shows them dancing together. Really? Two bitter rivals dancing together? Uh-huh. It's a charm for rebuilding burnt bridges. Oh, right. For the municipal merger issue. No, it's for the demon lawyer and the insomniac prosecutor. It'll stop you two from fighting like you did in court this morning. We weren't fighting. It was just a spirited debate. It's what we lawyers act. No fighting. Charm slapped again. Apollo, if you're done playing around, let's find out what she was lying about. Why is he a demon lawyer? 'Cause, she crazy. 'Cause Jinxie here is a crazy, crazy girl. Jinxie, it seems like you're starting to remember things. Maybe Apollo looks like a demon to her or something. You already said that the feathers and tracks weren't there when you discovered the crime. Have you remembered anything else that seems important? Eek! Like what? Tell us what you saw that day. Maybe you'll remember something else at this time. Eek! When I opened the door, Papa and Alderman QB were collapsed in the Fox chamber. That's when Papa told me to call an ambulance and the police. That's all he said before he passed out in the chair. Oh? He might. Apollo might have a big forehead. I knew it. She's holding something back. Oh boy. This is moving weird.
Gotcha!
You were very nervous when you said that's all he said, weren't you? I know because I saw your fingers move as if you were going to slap someone with a charm. Huh? Listen to me, Jinxie. This is very important. Did Mayor Tenma say anything else to you? It was nothing. He was just talking in his sleep. Talking in his sleep? So you admit that he did say something else. Eek! How can you tell? only a demon could have such powers. Yeah, that could be it too, Mafia Babe. Like I said, he was just talking in his sleep. I mean, why else would Papa say something like that? Could you be a little more specific? Before he fainted, he said, "Forgive me, Jinxie. I killed Alderman QB." You said what? The mayor actually confessed to the crime?
Well,
But he didn't mean it. He couldn't possibly have known what he was saying. He was probably possessed, or maybe he was in the middle of a nightmare.
a nightmare. No, this is a nightmare. This is one statement I wish I'd never heard.
What in the world are we going to do now? Return to the basics? That's right. Always believe in your client, no matter what happens. That is a lawyer's greatest and most trusted weapon. Right. Just believe in my client, even if all I can see ahead is darkness and despair. Jinxie, does Prosecutor Blackquill know about your father's confession? I didn't mention it when he was questioning me. I mean, there's no way Papa's the killer. Why would the mayor confess like that? Could he really have been dreaming or simply delirious? Who knows, but I sure feel like I'm in a living nightmare right now. Apollo, what are we going to do about tomorrow's trial? The crime scene was locked tight up until Jinxie arrived, and our clients even confessed. Not only that, Jinxie has been accused of planning the yokai evidence. Both the mayor and Jinxie are going to prison if we don't do something. I know. Well, let's see here. A lack of a third party in the locked room is a major problem. Jinxie has testified that when she first opened the door, Alderman and QB and Mayor Tenma were the only people she saw in the Fox Chamber. But the real killer must have been hiding in there as well. Considering the room was locked tight, that's the only logical explanation. Our mystery person must have then fled the Fox Chamber when it was opened, and that's when Jinxie saw what she thought was Tenma Taro. But Papa and the Alderman were the only people there. I didn't see anyone else. What's going on here? Labelle's extremely pale, but he's far from transparent. So just how did he hide himself at the scene of the crime? Whatever it takes in court tomorrow, Apollo, we have to take down that dirty, rotten Tenma Taro, Florent Labelle. Right, we'll get him with the legal exorcism justice style. To be continued. The way he pets the flower is so weird. His flower cologne thing. Well, guys, let me tell you about last night's Disney movie. It was another Disney sequel, and you all know how good those are. And in this sequel, I learned all about the bare necessities all over again. Yeah, it was the Jungle Book 2. And it was fine, I guess. It was alright. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen once again. There's worse Disney sequels out there. Characters were cool. Yep, the bare necessities of life will come to you. And it's crazy that they got all the voice actors back. It was a sequel of The Jungle Book. Yep. In 2003 that came out. And yep, all of the voice actors were back. Apparently they froze the kid that played Mowgli and then unthawed him so he could star in this role. Alright, that's not true. Someone else voiced him, and pretty much everyone except for Kaa. Shere Khan was still there. And it's crazy how many Disney movies have cats as the big villain, by the way. Like those Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp. The Shere Khan, Scar, Sabor from the Tarzan movie, Tigger, that cat from The Great Mouse Detective. Just, cats are evil for some reason when it comes to Disney. Weird. Anyway, that was the movie. It was alright. I enjoyed. And now it's courtroom time. April 19th.
Wow. Court is now in session.
Court is back in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice Defense Team Leader is ready, Your Honor. I have a question, guys. Are we supposed to be well dressed in court? Would Apollo be in trouble if he wore this in court? Athena Sykes, Assistant Defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Jesus Pret. As chipper as ever, I see, and in French no less. And the prosecution? Very well then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackquill. Does look like he has a drip, so it's probably fine. Okay. Hopefully it'll be fine then. Now your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it. Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. You probably realize how Blackquill played him. That was one mean game of Simon Says. Yeah, his honor has to fight to defend his honor today.
Your baldness.
It's plain to see that you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have? I don't know if I'd say that.
Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement.
That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court. The one thing you cannot possess. The crown jewels? Of the court? Now at long last they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make a special exception, just this once. Here we go again. Yep, more of Blackquill's mind games. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. Ahem. In yesterday's session we learned the shocking truth of that. The victim, Alderman Ruxcuby, was the Amazing Ninetails. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetails was a key figure in the yokai craze and the anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Ruxcuby's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tenma murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light. And the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and the victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Eek! Did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time. Oh, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation? The feathers and tracks? Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed? That was but an act to protect his daughter. Oh? Yes, of course. I had suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the manor's maid Jinxie Tenma. Objection! The prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture. Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that the little scamp is the one behind the Tenma Taro farce. Witness testimony? I bet he means Filch and that creep LaBelle. Very well then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today. Been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. Bit of a trademark of mine. Indeed, you managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip. Like those amateurs could never nab me. Yipes. Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place.
Yipes, no please. I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running.
Your statement, now.
Yes, sir. Blister Blackhead, sir.
He may be at a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackquill. Yeah, Blackquill doesn't strike me as the give-up-easy type. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime.
Here we go again.
Tenmataro's really that little maid gal, ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tenmataro I saw was just a little thing about her size, but the little runt had a big old staff. I'd seen it when she came into the foyer. Just she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. She was gonna use it to wallop at me on account of my fierce reputation. I just know it. So, Tenmataro was short in stature, and that's because it was Miss Jinxie Tenma all along? You betcha. Besides, all the rest of them in the manor were way taller than her. Feigning height is but an easy thing. What a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short. What if the Tenmataro impersonator was walking on their knees?
Weren't no knee walking, I'd seen it myself.
Then perhaps the yokai really was Mr. Tenma after all.
All monsters are naught but tricks, either of the mind or of the cheap parlor variety.
So you're saying she created an illusion like the one of those magical eye things?
Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor.
Ho ho ho. Prosecutor Blackquill just gave up the ghost, literally.
The janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are, no doubt, partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. That actually sounds like a real ghost to me.
Your baldness?
They are short.
Yep. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Cross-examination.
Tenmataro's really that little maid gal, ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tenmataro I saw was just a little thing but her size. But that little runt had a big old staff for seeing it when she came into the foyer. Bet you she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber, just stumbling on the crime scene.
Well, how could she do that when the key was swallowed?
Objection!
It would seem that Tenmataro was, in fact, not this innocent little girl.
Huh? How do you figure that?
You claim the Tenmataro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber, but it would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber.
What's this?
The key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene, so you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenmataro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma.
Ack! Arg!
What? But then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenmataro? Our Tenmataro impersonator is none other than the Mayor Tenma's aide. Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove that he is the yokai we seek? Yes, in fact, I can. Very well. Let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of the Tenmataro impersonator. The hand cream?
Take that!
We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber, and we know that whoever was Tenmataro took one of the staves out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. So you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. Hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results. No need for that, your baldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day. You call Prosecutor Blackquill? Could anyone be more whipped? Wright, analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command. Very well then, I guess we'll just wait right here. Getting interesting, I know, right? It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What did the results show? What in the world? They're Florent Labelle's prints, aren't they? This is absurd. Prosecutor Blackquill? I'm not going to like this, am I? Don't tell me. They're Tenmataro's prints? Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to... the judge? Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Wait, what? What? You like these dorks? You like Fulbright and Prosecutor, bro? They are great, I told ya. Then Mr. Labelle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little tanuki. Explain yourself now. Sure, them prints are mine. I mean, I did pilfer the hand cream from Mr. Labelle after all. So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber? So what if I did? Got a problem with it? Yipes! You fool of a tanuki. Not the hawk this time. Sorry, my dude. Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean? Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Doesn't this mean the Tenmataro holding that staff was... Phineas Filch? Yipes! Another cat out of the bag! Mr. Filch is Tenmataro? Who would have thought the criminal would steal and then do a crime? Aw, you're leaving, Mafia babe? Aw, I'll see you tomorrow, alright? You'll see the ending of this, or I'll let you know about the ending of the case. Or you can watch the VOD, either or. But see you soon! I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer? The witness will explain himself this instant. Begging your pardon, your honorship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tenmataro in the village exorcism ritual. Oh, you mean that event at the Ninetales Vale Festival? So that was you inside the Tenmataro costume? Yep, and after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers. So we didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match. That's when I looked at the Tenmataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And because of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word. In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place? Because of the treasure there. Thought there was my big chance to sneak on in and nab it. Treasure? Only that it's the greatest get-rich-quick's chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there. Welp. He went in there and not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it? Guess that's one talk that didn't get passed down from grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. How couldn't have possibly gotten in? I could through the inner air vent in the foyer. The vent's left of the alderman's picture. I went in and made a nice little hole. Hang on a minute. Made a nice little hole. Use that to get into the air duct that leads into the Forbidden Chamber, I did. You what? But how's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how he got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent. So Tenmatara was nothing more than a cat burglar, or rather a tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder. Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker. Tell me, Mr. Filch, where did you go? What did you do after fleeing to the foyer?
I got out of that costume right quick. Would have just caused trouble at that point.
Where is that costume now?
Heck if I know. And it ain't my fault if you never find it.
The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor. What if it was tossed us outside the manor? Ah!
No way.
But maybe, just maybe. The fence seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here? Did you get rid of the costume here? The window. Should I toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor.
You think I tossed it out the window? That costume's cost me a pretty penny. So why would I do something like that?
I can think of a few reasons. Any bright ideas, Apollo? Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might have just the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you.
You do?
This evidence proves you got rid of your Tenmataru costume through the window. This is one of those, I don't know, moments. Through the window. Through the window, through the window. This, maybe?
Ah, that's Tenmataro flying through the sky?
And just how does this prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Tenmataro in the photo, it's the costume Mr. Filch threw out.
Aw, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are ya?
There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. You're right, Mr. Cool. You were right. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tenmataro really was a flight of fancy. What?
Yikes.
Oh my, so there really never was a yokai.
Oh, I can't keep any of them cats bagged. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume?
This more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting. Care to raise an objections, Prosecutor Blackwell?
None whatsoever. I'll deal with that tricksy Tanuki after I've dealt with this case.
We did it. Good going. Now all we have to do is make Florent LaBelle take the stand.
Objection.
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not? Huh? Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in? Through the chamber's air vent? And what of the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? That would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection.
But the Forbidden Chamber doesn't open from the inside, so what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Someone on the outside opened the door for you, isn't that right?
Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprang right open.
Sprung right open? Who was on the other side?
Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare.
Like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark.
That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little maid gal spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall.
That means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't open until after the crime was discovered. But wait, we still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection!
Well, you little tanuki. When the forbidden chamber opened, did you see the accursed pest out there? Nope. Only one there was the alderman, and he was dead as a doornail. If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Don't tell me. Plainly, the only one who could have opened the forbidden chamber was the accused Damien Tenma. Arg! Wait a second. There had to be somebody else besides Mayor Tenma there. Really? And who might that be? Oh, well, that would be...
Objection!
It seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence. I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details. Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact. Sorry. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again. No, Athena, we're definitely gone to something here. We are? Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the forbidden chamber, one of the alibis we've heard would no longer hold any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand, someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the forbidden chamber, and by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Ah, not that insufferable. Very well, the court will now hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up? It is actually Trucy's alibi. Where was she at the time of the murder, huh?
Take that!
Why, that's the defendant's aide, Florent Labelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime? True, but in his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. Labelle at the time. In short, Mr. Labelle's alibi has disappeared. Clearly she was dead. Yep. Juicy. Arg! Florent Labelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch? I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here, neither. It was all Mr. Labelle's idea. He told me he'd button his lip about me breaking into the forbidden chamber, and in return he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi. Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury's a serious crime, you know. Aw, shucks. Mercy, your honorship, mercy. Arg! I also assert that the person who opened the forbidden chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent Labelle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication. I see. We will take a 20-minute recess, after which time we will see what Mr. Labelle has to say for himself. Yes! We're finally going to drag that slippery snake onto the stand. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. Labelle about these new allegations. The best character in this trial? The Hawk. You know it. Hawk is great. We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. Labelle into court. Yeah. Hey, why the long face? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell's bound to mount a comeback. You really are a worrywart, aren't you? It'll be fine. That mystery figure who opened the forbidden chamber for Mr. Filch had to have been Florent Labelle. I know, but there's not what's bugging me. Wish I could put my finger on it, though. At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. Labelle is up next, so chin up, Apollo. This'll be fun, guys, right? Finally, at long last. Oh, he has green hair now. Court is back in session. Our next witness is... Yes, I'm acting on behalf of the mayor in this very important matter. It seems the witness is predisposed at the moment. Surely you jest. I will hold you to your promise. Remember that. Oh, my deepest apologies. This is Florence LaBelle, personal aide to the Mayor to Mayor Tenma, or should I say, the accused.
You're not supposed to be on your phone in court. Yeah, how bad is that, being on your phone? Note, phones in court.
Ouch, like the poor mayor hasn't suffered enough. Well, what business do you have with me? I'm a very busy man, so let's make this as brief as possible.
Phones aren't even allowed in court usually. Well, dang. 20 to life, 20 to life. Oh, dang.
That's pretty harsh. Your baldness. Right, Mr. Filch's testimony has revealed a hole in your alibi, and for this reason, you are suspected of having some sort of connection with the case at hand. Phew, to think I'd be associated with this entirely lurid affair. Well, I'm not, so may I go now? I have very important matters to attend to.
Objection!
I don't think so, Mr. LaBelle. Do you realize what a serious crime you've committed? Witness, you are being accused of perjury. This is your chance to clear the air. Fine. The truth is I faked my alibi for a very good reason. The mayor was obviously the killer, so I created a fake alibi to confuse the matter. You see, as his personal aide, I felt I had to protect him. Sorry! You think this is funny? Without your alibi, you're a suspect too. What were you really doing at the time of the crime? Pff, peasant, how dare you accuse me, one of the beautiful people, of being... Stop stalling and tell the court what you were really doing at the time of the crime.
Silence!
Enough jabbering. Swords have been drawn. The time for talk is past. Swords? What swords? This is a duel to the death. The fate of the accused rests in our hands. Begone, ye of cowardly heart! The battlefield hath no place for ye.
Again? Oh my. Spare me, please!
That makes the slightest bit of sense. Everything here. I committed a crime because it was funny.
Because it was hilarious. So much for sturdier shackles.
Ag! Those chains hindered my vow that heads would roll this day.
This gives keeping your head on in court a whole new meaning.
Will the witness please deliver the accused death knell? You know of what I speak.
Ah ha ha ha. Most certainly. His goose is already cooked. Time to stick a fork in him.
Whatever he has to say can't be good.
As I told Prosecutor Blackquill during the recess, I rushed right over to the Fox Chamber when I heard little Jinxie scream.
What?
Then, drumroll please, I saw Mayor Tenma opening the Forbidden Chamber doors.
But... There you have it. The mystery man who opened the chamber door as witnessed by one Phineas Filch. It was the accused. There was never any third party.
Oh, and that's not all. I heard something quite startling there at the scene of the crime.
Can we get some stronger cuffs, please? Yeah, I know. We need the strongest... What is the strongest metal?
Startling sounds bad. The mayor, who was barely conscious, muttered this. Forgive me, Jinxie, I killed the alderman. That's right, the mayor actually confessed to the murder right then and there. Welp! Uh-oh.
He confessed?
Order in the court. This is quite conclusive testimony if it stands.
Just so, and quite astonishing, I might add. I only learned of this fact during the recess.
Ha 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 ha. I just love surprises, don't you? That's why I saved the best for last. Consider it a gift from me to you. No way. I don't believe Mr. LaBelle heard the mayor confess. But is this really true? Did Mayor Tenma really confess?
It is indeed. During that last recess, I confirmed it with the mayor's daughter. It would seem Mayor Tenma actually did confess.
That testimony is quite favorable to the prosecution's... This is LaBelle. Yes, I called earlier about the party reservations. That's right, and I'll be calling my little shindig Mayor Tenma's Conviction Gala. A splendid time is guaranteed for all but the mayor and his defense. Well, as it seems our witness is a very busy man, let's get right to his testimony. Mr. LaBelle, please tell us what you saw when you came upon the scene of the crime. Isn't Mr. something a gossip girl who loves to lie? Maybe. I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession. Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie flew without noticing me. Immediately after that, the mayor stood up and opened the forbidden chamber. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end. I must say, this is a shocking revelation. Quite unexpected. To think the defendant actually confessed then and there to his crime. Perhaps the guilt was too much to bear for so he confided in his daughter. You do realize that you should not have withheld such crucial testimony from the court. Once again, sorry. It's just I feared being accused if I mentioned summing up the most unpleasant scene. Arg, why did the mayor's confession have to be brought up by this guy? You better do something before the judge declares the mayor guilty. As the death row inmate once told me in years gone by, there is a time to fight and a time to yield, a time to live and a time to die. Arg, he's laying it on the real thick now. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. How do you hide in the shadows? He's wearing the brightest thing possible. Good question. He just was. I was in the hallway hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession.
Hold it!
You claim that the mayor's confessed to his daughter. Are you sure about that? Peasant, you wouldn't dare ask such a question if you truly understood. True beauty is never wrong. It's not? No, beauty is carved deep into the DNA. That means I'm programmed to always be right, even when I'm wrong. I'm not following. These exquisite ears like flowers abloom, these eyes that shine like pearls, this hair like the finest silk, nothing can corrupt the truth they hold. Right. The witness will hurry up and explain the truth of his. Specifically, what did Jinxie Tenma do upon hearing the confession? Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me.
Hold it!
How did Miss Tenma appear to you? Oh, the poor little thing seemed positively heartbroken, all teary-eyed and whatnot. I couldn't help but shed a few tears myself after seeing her like that. I actually sympathize with Jinxie. Seems like an overly human emotion for him. Yeah, because he's the only real monster we've seen so far, in looks and in character. The next thing I did was check my face in the mirror. Check your face? Why? To behold the beauty that is my sadness. Why else? Looks as if the Joker gave up. Maybe. Or just he's a fabulous Joker. Apollo, I'm starting to lose all faith in humanity. I know the feeling, but hang in there. At least keep faith in our client. Let's keep this moving, shall we? So what happened next? Immediately after that, the mayor stood up and opened the forbidden chamber.
Hold it!
He opened the forbidden chamber? But why would he do that? Who knows? Maybe he wanted to free the demon Tenmataro.
Objection!
This courtroom is no place for fairy tales. Remember, you are under oath. Hello, LaBelle speaking. Yes, I will certainly explore the matter. Doodles! Now, where were we again? You were going to tell us the real reason why the mayor opened the forbidden chamber. Oh yes, of course. Hello, this is LaBelle. Good one, sir. You're an absolute riot. Okay, bye. You were saying? Never mind. This is a waste of time. He's just going to tell more lies. The witness will focus on his testimony, not his phone calls. Now tell the court what you did after you saw the mayor open the forbidden chamber. Well, after that... There's a button that makes fake phone calls. Maybe. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison.
Hold it!
What was Mr. Filch like at the time? He was shouting, "I can't see! I can't see! It's the curse of Tenmataro!" Then he took off running like a madman. He must have been blinded by the sudden light flow flooding in. Wrong! What? He set eyes upon me, and was thus blinded by my radiant beauty. So, it was the curse of Florent Labelle rather than Tenmataro? Yes, I'm afraid such beauty can be a curse. It's almost criminal. The only thing criminal here is your careless, ceaseless jabbering. Now get on with your testimony. Oh, forgive me, your darkness. Let's see. Oh yes, I fled for dear life from Tenmataro, and... In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end.
Hold it!
After you fled into the hallway with the phone at the end, Tenmataro ran off toward the foyer? Precisely. Notice any inconsistencies, Apollo? Well, Jinxie also saw Tenmataro, right? She did. She said they passed each other in the hall after she made the call to the police. If LaBelle had fled down the hall where that phone is, Jinxie would have seen him when she was returning from making her call. Oh, right. And if she saw him, she would have definitely asked him for help. Right, it just doesn't make any sense. And review the evidence. We don't find some way to poke a hole in his testimony? Mertemma is as good as guilty. This is bad, very bad. We need to find an inconsistency, a mistake, some kind of conflict. It's all over. We can't find a flaw in the prosecution's case. So I guess the last one. Do we have Jinxie's confession, or whatever it's called? Statement. Maybe this?
Objection!
Okay, good. Florent Labelle, you're lying about having witnessed these events from the hallway. Ha 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 ha. What on earth do you mean? Yes, care to fill the rest of us in, Mr. Justice? If Mr. Labelle had really fled down into the hall with the phone in it, he would have crossed paths with Miss Tenma. What's this? After she discovered the crime scene, she immediately went to call the police. And after making her call, she went back to the main hallway, whereupon she encountered the demon yokai, or whatever you want to call it. As for me, I call it Phineas Filch in a Tenmataro costume. The encounter happened right there where the hallways meet. As for Mr. Labelle, if he had fled here, feigning escape from the yokai imposter, why yes, the two would have crossed paths. Right, except Mr. Tenma told us that there was no one else in the hall. In short, Miss Tenma did not see you in the hall because you were never really there. Ah! My eyes! My beautiful eyes! Ha! Not such a fabulous scent now, is it? You lost your phone? Hey, Tragics! That stinks. Where did you lose it last, Tragics? And welcome to the stream, by the way. Sorry if I missed your comment for a while. But Mr. Justice, the witness also stated that he heard the mayor confess. Your delicious eyes! Cole's parking lot. Oh no. You should call it and see if anyone picks up. Like, call from your home phone. There's a spider. Uh-oh. Get the flamethrower. But Mr. Justice, the witness is the witness. If he was lying about hearing the confession from the hall, then where was he when he heard it? Inside the Fox chamber. Where else? But isn't that within the very crime scene? It is, Your Honor, and that means he's not really a witness. Rather, he's the third party I've been alleging this whole time. What? You think I'm the killer? How dare you?
Silence!
Your mom tried that? Oh, did no one pick up? Did you try to go back there and see if anyone picked it up? Into Cole's. Foolish fop. A true man knows when he is beaten. A shield of lies comes to naught before a foe with the sword of truth bared. But Prosecutor Blackquill, what are you? I thought we were on the same side. Can you tell us what started the fire? I saw a spider! That's how most fires start. It's true. You are mistaken. There are no sides here, save for my cold, steely edge of judgment. You are alone upon this battlefield, with naught but your lies and sickly, sweet perfume. Whoa, what just happened? Blackwell's really tearing into him. You heard the mayor's confession from the inside, did you not, you deviant dandy? For the sole location from which you could have seen and heard the mayor and the Tanuki, without either of them noticing you were right there in the fox chamber. How sweaty must he be? Like, how much cologne is on him that it sweats that much? Oh my, so that's how it's going to be. Fine, I'll come clean then. Seriously? You admit to being there in the fox chamber? I do. I did enter the room after the murder, but I was afraid of being falsely accused, so I lied about it. I feel terrible about lying like that, but it's a verbal cologne I use to protect myself. You'd better explain yourself, Mr. LaBelle. Yes, of course. I was just about to get to that. The witness is skating on thin ice. I'll remind you that perjury is a very serious crime. Now let's hear your testimony again, this time without your perfume of lies. In the fox chamber. I did enter the fox chamber after the murder, but I didn't enter until after Jinxie had heard the confession and left. I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screen there. What I saw there up close, it was absolutely horrifying. So you see, I was there but merely watching from behind the screen. From behind the screen? Why, yes, I believe you wouldn't be spotted if you were there. Just so, he could see everything without being spotted by the victim or that Tanuki Filch. Suffice to say, he was a mere witness to the events rather than an actual third party. This guy's as slippery as an eel. Apollo, you think he's telling the truth? Well, he was in the fox chamber, so at least that much must be true. The defense may cross-examine our slightly voyeuristic witness. That's not a real word. That's vague. I did enter the fox chamber after the murder, but I didn't enter until after Jinxie and her had heard the confession and left.
Hold it!
Why didn't you enter right away? And ruin my designer's shoes? Your shoes? Even now, just thinking about getting blood on my fabulous footwear, it sends chills down my spine. That's why I hesitated. Voyeuristic. That's a word. That's terrible. A man was dying and another injured, and you worried about your shoes?
Silence!
Type she. Are you saying me type she? Need I remind you, this is a court of law. We are not teaching morality here. We have schools of etiquette and the like for such trivial pursuits. Gah! Oh, type the shoes. What do you mean by type the shoes? Use a full sentence if you can, by the way, Tragics, so I know what you're talking about. Now you listen to me, you deceptive dandy. Get to the point and be quick about it. Yes, well, I was there in the fox chamber, but... You tried to send it out the window, but went on a carpet, so you just killed it. Aw, rip Spider. Oh, the witness is relatable. Do you like your shoes, Tragics? I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screen there.
Hold it!
Wait a second. Why did you hide yourself? Oh my, so you do understand. I do? By hiding, I was concealing my fabulous beauty, which, for the sake of the universe, is something I should never ever do. That's what you're thinking, right? I'm sensing a black hole of egocentricity forming around the witness stand. You have a sneaker collection? Nice. That's awesome. You should show it off sometime. We can deliberate his mental process another time. Get on with the testimony, now. Well, regarding the murder scene, what I saw there up close, it was absolutely horrifying. Ah. Could you describe this crime scene in a bit more detail? And what exactly would you like details about? Well, what I'd like to ask you about is... Alright. This is where we choose all of them. The feathers and tracks. What do you remember about the yokai feathers and tracks? They resulted when Tenmataro exited the Forbidden Chamber. He came out in quite a rush, scattering feathers this way and that. Did you immediately know it was Mr. Filch? I did, and that's why I suggested we cook up our alibis together. And how did those practice sessions go? They were nearly the death of me. Filchy has to be the worst student ever. Really doesn't think he's done anything wrong, does he? Well, Mr. Justice, do you consider his statement to be of any importance? Is it important? Which right now is non-existent. Aw, really? Can you join on your computer? Do you have a computer? Good luck finding it. Yeah. Good luck either finding it or getting a new, better one, hopefully. Hopefully no one else finds it, because that's annoying. Does your parents magically have one in their closet? What if it poofed? I request that it be added to the testimony. The yokai feathers and tracks weren't there before the fox chamber was opened. Were not there before. Yeah, but... Objection! Alright. To the guide. To the guide I go, because I kind of forgot. I got pretty far without using a guide. I'm kind of impressed, to be honest. Luckily, I have one saved here. Come on, internet, you can do it. Alright, give me a second, lads. Okay, so it's this one we gotta do. Could you describe the state of the weapons that had been used at the scene? The spear had been thrust all the way through Alderman Cuby, and there was that statue the Alderman used to bludgeon Mayor Tenma. That incredibly inspiring symbol has fallen to the floor. Oh right, the statue. But why would he find it inspiring? What exactly did you find the statue, or why did you find it inspiring? Well, when I saw that statue, I felt as if the merger had been realized. It was like a celebration of union between town and village, an inspiring symbol of goodwill. A broken statue next to a bloody corpse. Real inspiring. You had it since you were 9? Aw, man. Well, hopefully, like I said, hopefully you find a new one, or you go back to Cole's tomorrow and find it somehow. Any importance? Might be good to get a new one, though. Might be time for an update. I believe that to be an extremely important. I request that it be added to the testimony. A statue had fallen to the floor. It was a token of goodwill celebrating the municipal merger. Really? Because it didn't look like that at all. Objection! Your lies have finally betrayed you, Mr. LaBelle. What possibly could you mean? You said the statue was like a celebration of a union between town and village. Isn't that correct? It is indeed, but what of it? The two yokai are joining hands in goodwill, as if they were celebrating the municipal merger. Something the matter? So, how did you really know that this statue was meant to be a symbol of goodwill again? What? Justice Dono, explain yourself and make it quick. The statue was meant to symbolize goodwill in its original form, but that was a secret. A secret? Whatever do you mean? What I mean is that it broke when someone used it to strike Mayor Tenma on the head. What's left clearly makes it look like the two yokai are battling it out. Beep! The statue's secret and its true form were lost inside that locked room, where Miss Tenma is the only living soul who should know what it once looked like. So, Mr. LaBelle, where could you have possibly seen the statue in its original form? What do you mean, where? The only possible answer is this. You saw the statue in its original form, right there in the room where the alderman was murdered before it was broken. How dare you! But Mr. Justice, are you accusing the witness with some sort of crime? Yes. Yes, I am. Florent LaBelle. I accuse you of the murder of Alderman Rex Cuby. It was him the whole time? What? This is getting good, I know, right? Ah! Order, order! Mr. LaBelle, you've been accused of murder. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Arg! How could you possibly accuse me, the embodiment of beauty? Way to go, Apollo. This is the conclusive evidence we needed. Magnifico! We've got you now. We know you killed the alderman. Now admit it. Ah!
Silence!
Nope. Enough of your silly games, Justice Dono. This prancing peacock could not possibly be the killer.
Objection!
What are you talking about? His alibi has already crumbled to dust. And I just proved that he was in the Fox chamber while he was still locked tight.
Silence!
Why could he have not seen the statue in its true form before the murder? After all, he was close friends with the alderman. Ergo... Yes, that's right. I clearly remember it now. Alderman Cuby told me about it. About what the statue was actually looked like. I mean, he was a good friend of mine. Ha 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 ha.
Objection!
Yeah, right. He wouldn't show you a secret gift just like that.
Silence!
Moreover, it has already been proven that he was not present at the scene of the crime. It has? Forgotten, have we? Recall the little scamp's statement, if you will. When Jinxie Tenma unlocked the Fox chamber, she saw the alderman and the mayor collapse therein, and no one else. Oh, dang it. The fact is, it was you two who made the apparent in yesterday's court session. Thus, Florent LaBelle could not possibly have been in that locked room. Erg. No! Ah! Game over. I just don't get it. How could Jinxie not have seen LaBelle? The proof is incontrovertible. No room for debate exists. Am I not right, your baldness? It does seem awfully conclusive. The facts point to the defendant and victim being the only people in that locked room. Moreover, the defendant has already confessed.
Objection! Silence!
You cannot defend the indefensible. Your role in this charade is over, Justice Dono. But... Your baldness, this trial would last an eternity if we were to keep crossing blades with these simpletons. It is high time you brought down the hammer of justice. A point well made. I believe it's time to declare a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Damien Tenma.
Oh. Oh. Ka. It would seem that my time is at hand.
Mayor Tenma?
Counselor, there is a matter of which I must testify. I recall it now only for your good graces.
Counselor? Oh, right. He must mean me. Has he finally remembered what happened before that blow to his head?
Bailiff, don't just stand there. Seize him.
It's no good. I can't restrain him.
Ka. Know me in despair, for I am Tenma Taro, demon lord of the Yokai.
But Mr. Justice, do something! Since when am I responsible for court security? Apollo, this is our chance. We might get some new information out of him. Your Honor, seeing as our client has something new to say, I believe due process demands that we hear him out, even if he is a yokai. When you put it that way... Still, I believe testimony by a yokai is unprecedented in the legal world.
Unprecedented in absurdity, more like.
Ooh, let him cook. Let's let Mr. Tenma Taro cook. Alright then, Mr. Damien Tenma, or should I say Mr. Tenma Taro, your testimony, please.
I shall now speak of recollections most real courtesy of my host Damien Tenma. Heed these words, mortals, for hear them but once you shall. Ka.
This has gone from weird to more weird.
Barely conscious was Damien there among the darkness. Suddenly, two yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tenmataro, ruler of demon kind, and on the other, my mortal enemy, the nine-tailed fox.
So is the defendant asserting that the room he was in was very dark at the time?
Strange as it may be, yes, indeed, all was in darkness.
And the part about Tenmataro and the nine-tailed fox being there?
Yes, that too. Tenmataro towered overhead, and the nine-tailed fox glittered gold.
I call animal abuse, Your Honor.
It would seem the defendant's recollections are not to be trusted. Yes, well, truth be told, my host's recollections are still a bit fuzzy.
Maybe it will get to be weirder?
Maybe. As if half dreamt that that happening lingers in his mind.
Apollo, maybe I can help here. Really? Oh, you mean... Yeah, I can hear it. The discord in his heart. I sense an unusual emotion in the mayor's memory of the event. Okay, I just hope our findings don't come back to haunt us. Again.
It's that time again. Barely conscious was Damien Tenma and amid the darkness. Suddenly, the two yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tenmataro, ruler of the darkness. And on the other, my mortal enemy, the nine-tailed fox.
Alright, there's immediately something strange here. Why is he happy to see his enemy?
Got it!
When the nine-tailed fox appeared, you not only experienced shock and sadness, but also something like joy as well.
Joy? Perhaps it was joy at the light coming to my eyes at long last. A long and terrible creaking did pierce the silence, and then there was light. On reflection, it was a door that did produce that infernal racket.
A creaking door? Oh, you must be talking about the Forbidden Chamber door. It does make a lot of noise. So, this means the Forbidden Chamber really was opened. But what about the sudden light he's described? I think I know. He mentioned darkness and Tenmataro towering overhead. Maybe the mayor wasn't really in the Fox Chamber at the time of the crime. Mr. Mayor, did the darkness that you were in happen to be there? Okay. Let's see. Highlight the Forbidden Chamber.
The Forbidden Chamber? Was it not the Fox Chamber where the murder did occur?
Yes, but it all makes sense if you were in the Forbidden Chamber. That terrible creaking sound was probably the Forbidden Chamber's door opening. And the towering Tenmataro you saw? Most likely the Forbidden Chamber's statue.
Why, yes, that would explain it.
They don't draw chalk lines around where the body was? They don't? What do you mean by that, Stars over, Hyrule?
The darkness and the staff in the 10 demon's grasp.
But even if all that's true, then what about the nine-tailed fox? Maybe he was seeing things, just like Jinxie and her imaginary yokai. Fantastico, Apollo. It's entirely possible. In a groggy, dreamlike state, people can misremember things and events.
Misremember, you say? Let me think. I do believe. I remember now. That was not the nine-tailed fox. It was the Amazing Ninetales.
Whoa, what? The Amazing Ninetales?
At first, this is but a dream, I thought. Now, however, I most clearly do I recall it.
In real life, it contaminates the crime scene. So they don't actually do chalk thingies? Did they use, like, tape? Is that what they use, maybe?
I don't know. 'Twas the Amazing Ninetales who did open the Forbidden Chamber's door.
I'm sorry I asked. The amazing Ninetales? But that was the victim, Alderman Cubey, right? Yeah, why would he open the forbidden chamber? Wasn't he trying to keep it sealed? Never mind that, this is completely new information. Let me enter it and run an update.
Really conscious was Damien there in the forbidden chamber.
Info update!
Amid the darkness, a mighty statue of Tenmataro loomed overhead.
Suddenly the door did open, and a shaft of light did pierce the gloom. The amazing Ninetales had come to the rescue! Nope, they don't use outline. Weird, so in real life they don't do that. Interesting. So he came to the rescue, but why is he sad?
Got it!
When the amazing Ninetales opened the chamber, banishing the darkness within, you felt joy, but didn't you also feel shock and sadness?
Yes, in the hazy depths of my mind, I do recall something of that nature. I believe it was the Fiend's Cape of Red, for when I did behold it, a great wave of sadness did inexplicably wash over me.
A cape of red? Apollo, we've reduced the noise level. Oh, but there's still a little left. Mayor Tenma, why were you sad when you saw the red cape?
Why indeed?
What could this mean? I guess his memory is still a little spotty. I know because his latest recollection contradicts the evidence. Yeah, it's one of those contradictions that slaps you right across the face. Something this obvious could arise when someone is trying to force a fuzzy memory into a definitive shape. Apollo, I know what you have to do. You need to present evidence that contradicts the image you see. Oh, so it's basically the same as the usual cross-examination process. Okay, time to review the evidence. Look out contradiction. Here comes justice. Now you need to sleep. Good night, stars over Hyrule. I will see you tomorrow, my friend. Have a good flippin' night, alright? See you on the tomorrows. Sweet dreams. Yes. The amazing Ninetales have come to the rescue. I should save real quick, just in case I get this wrong. Yes, I'm still looking up a guide at this point, because I forgot.
Objection!
Oh. Okay. Is the guide wrong? Okay. The amazing Ninetales has come... Oh. Present Ninetales Glossary. Here it is.
Objection!
But yeah, have a good one, Stars over Hyrule. You said the amazing Ninetales' cape was red? Are you sure about that?
Yes, well, I do believe it was a red cape I saw, but...
Mayor Tenma? Does this cape look red to you?
Oh, that certainly does not look red, not even scarlet or crimson either. Nevertheless, upon my liberation, something red did fill my as-yet hazy field of view. And I thought to myself, the amazing Ninetales is arrayed in a cape of red.
So you mistook the red something for this cape, huh?
Apparently so, and remembering it now brings a great sadness upon me.
So the red something probably wasn't a cape after all. Maybe that great sadness he mentioned is what's interfering with his memory. Well, he would have seen the fox chamber behind the amazing Ninetales. What red object could he have seen there that would have been that shocking? I know. Could it have been... Mr. Mayor, was the red thing you saw this? Okay, now I do this.
Take that!
Something red that should produce a deep sadness. Could it be, Mr. Tenma, that what you saw was the alderman's blood?
Blood? Why, yes, it was blood.
Yep, blood.
Arg! Oh! Arg! It's all coming back to me now. It wasn't a red cape that I saw. It was lying behind the amazing Ninetales, the alderman's bloody body.
Eek!
Well.
Bye-bye. His noise level is down to 0. I think he's remembered everything now.
My god, I know, right?
Does this mean the amazing Ninetales killed Alderman Cubey? But the Alderman was the amazing Ninetale, so how exactly would that work?
Hey, I asked you first.
Well, Mr. Justice, you sure know how to make a complicated matter even more complicated. True, but at the time of the crime, our client was in the Forbidden Chamber. Moreover...
Silence!
Hoy, don't you think this is strange? The little scamp has already confirmed her father to be in the Fox Chamber, but she said naught about seeing the amazing Ninetales there.
Ack, you just had to bring that up, didn't you?
Thinks he didn't see LaBelle there either. It's so weird. Who really was in that room then? Would the defense care to share any theories with the court? Can you explain the inconsistency between the defendant's testimony and his daughter's?
Yes, of course. I can explain it, because if I don't, we're in serious trouble.
Hey, you're sleepy?
Aw, good night, Angel Love.
Have an awesome sleep, alright? I will see you in the mornings or tomorrow nights with more games. See ya.
Not with more of your bluffs and fairy tales, I trust. Fair warning, Justice Dono. I shall have your head if you fail to explain this.
Eep! What about a good old-fashioned penalty? Well, Mr. Justice, let's see if you have a head worth keeping on your shoulders. First of all, Mr. LaBelle was definitely in the Fox Chamber while it was locked. You also know that Mayor Tenma was in the Forbidden Chamber based on his testimony. These two facts are crucial to my explanation. So let's consider the following question. If the facts point to Florent LaBelle and the victim being there at the scene, why did Jinxie Tenma see the victim and her father, Mayor Tenma? A very good question indeed. I suppose you have an answer for us? Sadly, you would be supposing wrong. You think she could have mistaken LaBelle for the mayor? Well, if she did, then the question is, why did she do that? Well, how about that explanation, Mr. Justice? I believe the time for questions is over. The defense asserts that Florent LaBelle was at the scene of the crime. However, Jinxie Tenma has testified that she saw her father collapse there. If she has in fact misremembered the event, what could have made her do so? LaBelle was disguised as Tenma! The figure Miss Tenma saw was not her father. It was Florent LaBelle disguised as Damien Tenma.
Silence!
That is a complete impossibility. Their faces are utterly unlikable. Unlike, how could you explain that away with a mere disguise?
Yes, they both do have incredibly distinctive faces. Maybe the disguise completely hid his face? I think Jinxie would have mentioned if she could see her father's face.
And if it was that sort of disguise, wouldn't she have removed it?
Oh, right.
Your sword is as dull as your mind, Justice Dono. Shall I show you what a truly sharp blade is capable of?
I think I'll pass. Ack! Ah! Justice is dead. Are you okay, Apollo? I'm not fine, am I?
Well, now that we have that little fairy tale out of the way, your baldness, your verdict, if you will.
Mr. Justice, I believe it's time for a verdict if you have no further arguments. What's even left for me to do? Apollo, remember what Mr. Wright always says. When you're stuck on a tight spot, turn the case upside down. Turn the case upside down? He does say that, doesn't he? But I don't quite see how it applies here. Still, never hurts to give it a try, I guess. Let's see. Rather than Jinxie didn't remove the disguise, maybe she couldn't remove it.
Rip Justice.
And rather than she didn't tell anyone about the disguise, maybe it was she couldn't talk about it. A wrestler's mask is more precious than his own life. Guys. Arrester's Mask. 0 out of 10. Unplayable game. Typos everywhere. Literally unplayable. Yep. He never unmasked himself in front of others, but there are matches where wrestlers battle for the right to remove each other's masks. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself. And what about the fact that it was the amazing Ninetales who opened the door? A mask that can't be removed in front of others? Can these facts turn things around? We got it all backwards. Apollo? I think we might have made a huge mistake. Your baldness. I see no need to further indulge them in their silly little farce. The defense has no proof. They never did and they never will. Then it seems I must announce my verdict.
Objection!
I do have proof. Do you now? All right, but this better be good, Mr. Justice. We can solve the remaining riddles by turning all of our assumptions upside down. Why Jinxie Tenma mistook Mr. LaBelle for her father. Why she couldn't remove the costume or tell anyone about it in the first place. These riddles are inextricably linked to Mayor Tenma's secret identity. A shocking secret identity that will turn the entire premise of this case upside down. This piece of evidence clearly reveals Mayor Tenma's secret identity. It's the mask.
Take that!
Gah, what absolute claptrap, poppycock, balderdash. We thought the Alderman was the amazing Ninetales and the mayor was Tenma Taro. That's why we believe the mayor killed the Alderman in his lust for Ninetales' veil, and it was the basis for the prosecution's entire case against our client. However, we got the whole thing backwards. Mayor Tenma wasn't Tenma Taro at all. He was the amazing Ninetales. What's this? You'd best explain yourself, Justice Dono. And from where you derive such a far-fetched conclusion. Jinxie, no doubt, knew the true identity of the amazing Ninetales, but she couldn't tell anyone no matter what. That's why she didn't say it was the amazing Ninetales she saw passed out, even though, unbeknownst to her, it was really Florent LaBelle in disguise.
Silence!
The accused and the deceitful dandy are utterly dissimilar in physical build and voice. The little scamp would have seen the difference.
Objection!
Remember Mr. LaBelle has his very own brand of cosmetics. Why couldn't he fake a different build too? And anyone speaking through a mask would naturally sound different.
Silence!
Why did she not simply pull the mask off?
Objection!
A masked wrestler's disguise is more precious than life itself. As a huge fan of the amazing Ninetales, she would never dare unmask him. Gah! Wah! This case of mistaken identity also explains the riddle of the locked room. Then by all means, Mr. Justice, answer it for us already. First, Mr. LaBelle entered the room where the mayor and the alderman were talking. I suspect he brought with him coffee laced with some sort of sedative. Oh, sedative. Once the alderman was out cold. That's the scene at the beginning of the case. That's when Mr. LaBelle killed him. Next, he took the mayor, who had also drugged, into the forbidden chamber. Then he returned to the fox chamber, slipped into some of the mayor's spare clothes, and completed the disguise by donning the amazing Ninetales mask. Your god. What? What happened, Mr. Cool? With his entire charade in place, Mr. LaBelle then let out a scream. The scream that led Jinxie Tenma to the scene. Ah, so then... the person who said I killed Alderman QB was... Yep, that was Florent LaBelle in disguise. The mayor never actually confessed.
Silence.
This case is all coming together.
I know, right? This is no more than guesswork and speculation. Now stop your jabbering and...
Objection!
No, you twisted samurai. This time, you stop your jabbering and let me finish making my case.
Arg.
Once Miss Tenma left the scene, Mr. LaBelle, still wearing the mayor's clothes and mask, opened the forbidden chamber so he could drag the mayor back out into the fox's chamber. Oh, so the amazing Ninetales the mayor saw was...
Right, it was LaBelle opening the forbidden chamber.
The second time Mr. LaBelle opened the door to the forbidden chamber, he happened to catch the thieving Mr. Filch by surprise. Startled, Mr. Filch in his Tenmataro disguise ran as fast as he could away from the room. As he did, he left behind him a trail of feathers and tracks, and gave Mr. Tenma the scare of her life in the hallway. With no one left to witness the events that had occurred, Mr. LaBelle then proceeded to drag the sleeping mayor back into the fox chamber.
I see. Well, that all certainly does make sense.
After dragging the mayor back into the fox chamber, Mr. LaBelle threw the mess out of the window and fled the room.
Silence.
For this absurd theory to work, it requires that the defendant be the amazing Ninetales. However, he was the one pushing for the municipal merger. That such an individual could possibly be the amazing Ninetales is preposterous.
Objection!
The mayor was blackmailed into pursuing the merger. Miss Tenma's life would have been in danger if he had openly voiced his opposition. That's why he created a secret identity as the amazing Ninetales.
Gah! This is madness. No one could possibly hatch such an insane plot.
No one except a killer as insane as his plot, and I'd say Florent LaBelle more than qualifies.
Foolish mortal, it is at your own peril that you forget who I am.
Mayor Tenma, it's okay now. Jinxie will be safe just as soon as Mr. LaBelle is arrested. You are the amazing Ninetales, aren't you?
Oh. His hair changed.
You have quite the active imagination. Mayor Tenma is not the amazing Ninetales.
Objection!
What do you mean? Well, has the mayor admitted to it yet? But that's just... And even if he did admit to such nonsense, I would reveal the truth behind Tenmataro right here and now.
What? Why, you would dare reveal the secret?
My good friend the alderman told me all about it. But it wouldn't be good to expose the truth. What with the superstitions now, would it?
The truth behind Tenmataro? What's he talking about?
So go ahead, say it. Say, I am the amazing Ninetales. I dare you.
Arrgh.
Objection!
Wait, will somebody please explain what's going on here? Mayor Tenma will do anything to keep the truth behind Tenmataro a secret. A dark, terrible truth that has been kept secret by the village superstitions.
And if the mayor admits to being the amazing Ninetales, you'll expose the truth?
Right, I won't have him walking free because of some nonsense you made up.
So what now, Justice Dono?
Without the mayor's admission, your theory is as useless as you are in battle.
I'll show you who's useless.
Apollo, don't you dare give up now. I know. Why is Mr. Something such a bloop?
'Cause he is. Your Honor, I believe that Mr. LaBelle's statements warrant a thorough examination.
After all, the true identity of the amazing Ninetales is the cornerstone of this case. You do have a point there. Please answer this court, Mr. LaBelle. Is the defendant the amazing Ninetales or not? The amazing Ninetales' true identity is not Mayor Tenma. The mayor would never admit to such utter nonsense. But if he did admit to such nonsense, I will expose the truth behind Tenmataro right here and now. and that would bring ruin upon Ninetails Vale, just as the superstitions say. Lurk. Alright, Tragics. Thank you for stopping by, my friend, and lurking. Hope your phone is found or something or other. I'm gonna go to sleep, but I'm a lurk. Alrighty. Well, thank you. You're a good kid. Talk about out of the pot and into the fire. At this rate, the mayor will be found guilty for sure. Honestly speaking, if Mayor Damien Tenma is not the amazing Ninetails, I'm afraid I don't see how the defense has much of a case here. Ha 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 ha. And let's just leave it at that, shall we? We all know Alderman QB was the amazing Ninetails, anyway. I mean, that's how Ninetails Vale made a comeback. The Alderman was so popular. There's gotta be a hole in that testimony somewhere. I don't even know where to start. Since we don't have any proof the mayor is actually the amazing Ninetails, then we'll just have to get him to admit it himself. But if he admits it, LaBelle's going to expose the secret behind Tenmataro. Arg, we are so close, I know it. Why do people keep sleeping? No idea. Good question, my dude. Blah 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 blah. Then blah 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 bits is such other nonsense. The nonsense. I will expose the truth behind Tenmataro right here and now. And that would bring ruin upon Ninetails Vale, just as the superstitions say. Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others if you see him. Isn't that what the village superstitions say? Exactly. Telling others what Tenmataro looks like would reveal the truth. That's why the superstitions were written down in the first place. And ruin comes to the village if you free him? Is that a warning not to expose the truth? Bingo! And the truth is Tenmataro is a great greed-inspiring fortune. That's why the whole battle over Ninetails Vale is all about. Tenmataro is a great fortune? Come to think of it. Only that it's the greatest get-rich-quick chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said he's an amazing treasure in there. There's an amazing treasure wherever. Could Tenmataro actually be... give me a second. Could Tenmataro actually be... telling the villagers that Tenmataro is a terrifying yokai? It will have scared them away from the forbidden treasure chamber and the treasure within. That's how the treasure has been kept secret all this time. Well, well, well. It seems our ace attorney here has uncovered the truth that must not be revealed. Tenma looks like he wants to keep the truth hidden as much as I do. Tragedy is doomed to repeat itself as long as Tenmataro exists. That's why the secret must be protected. As long as Tenmataro exists, huh? Mr. LaBelle, please add that statement to your testimony. Tragedy is doomed to repeat as long as Tenmataro exists. Okay.
Go!
That's the name of the game. It is. Now it's been name dropped. Mr. LaBelle, what if Tenmataro no longer existed? Revealing the truth would no longer be an issue, would it? If Tenmataro no longer existed? What on earth are you talking about? Oh, apparently you haven't heard. Tenmataro no longer exists. But I guess you didn't get to do a thorough search after the key was taken from you. Because when we searched the Forbidden Chamber, there wasn't any treasure there. Really? Well, maybe you weren't looking in the right place. Sorry, but I have proof that Tenmataro no longer exists. Take a look at this figure. What do we have here? It looks like some sort of creature. We found this in the Forbidden Chamber. It's an Azuki Kozo figure. The great thief Azuki Kozo used to leave them at the scene of his crimes. Are you suggesting that the Tenmataro has been stolen? Yep, Phineas Filch's grandfather, a master thief, was the culprit. And by that hideous moronic caretaker's grandfather, no less? No! But my beautiful golden Tenmataro was. The greed inspired by Tenmataro can no longer bring ruin upon Ninetails Vale. Isn't that right, Mayor Tenma?
The root of tragedy would indeed seem to be gone. In fact, I now recall the alderman revealing the secret to me on the day of our meeting. He must have been speaking of Tenmataro, for he said to me the gold ingot was gone.
The gold ingot? You mean the treasure that is Tenmataro's true form?
Recall, if you will, the scroll in the Forbidden Chamber. Tenmataro is the yellowish object shown there, a giant gold ingot that my nomadic ancestors bestowed upon Ninetales Vale.
We should just take a guilty plea at this point.
Maybe. In return for that gold my ancestor didn't receive from Ninetales Vale, land that would become Tenma Town, but drive the villagers mad with greed to that great fortune. Bitter was their greed-fueled battle. It was as if they were possessed. My ancestors' gold became as a curse upon their village, a curse of ruin. Thus it was that a Yokai Tenmataro came to be.
So, Tenmataro and the village superstitions were merely fairy tales to scare people away.
Fairy tale or not, Tenmataro made quite the mess of things. Yes, indeed, for there is no greater monster than a mortal man's lust for gold.
Well, you know what they say. The love of money is the root of all evil.
My ancestor did bring a terrible thing here to Ninetales Vale. A thing so terrible that Tenmataro, a monster just as terrible, had to be created to keep it a secret. Yet we have naught but love for the little village to which we owe our very existence. Tenmatown would never seek to take over Ninetales Vale in a merger.
Oh my, that was quite a shocking lesson in history. Mr. Mayor, now that we know Tenmataro no longer exists, are you ready to admit your secret? You are the amazing Ninetales, aren't you? No, don't do it! Please, no!
Be gone, you demented demon!
Ahem. Now where was I? The Golden Lord of Yokai, the amazing Ninetales, is indeed me. And that means... Jinxie? Yes? The man wearing the mayor's clothes who you saw collapse in the fox's chamber? Was he wearing the amazing Ninetales' mask? Uh-huh. That's what made me think it was Papa. He said he was going to reveal his secret identity to Alderman QB that day, so it really wasn't Papa I saw there, was it?
It was Florent's idea from the start. He advised me to reveal my secret identity to the Alderman.
Yeesh, Rube Goldberg machines have less elaborate setups than LaBelle schemes.
You may rest now, little Jinxie. That monster's deception is through. Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka.
Well, very good at hiding his something under that shirt.
Yep.
He is. The true facts behind this case have finally come to light. Mertema did not kill Alderman QB, but Florent LaBelle did. How dare you, peasant!
Get.
Ah! Ah! No!
Silence.
Oh.
We're not done yet.
Oh, abs.
Justice Dono, you should at least have a real blade in your hands if you desire to cross swords with me. Or have you mistaken this battlefield for a training ground? What's this guy want now? Evidence is like a razor-sharp blade that cuts through bone, as though it were butter. But you have only blind guesses, a dull blade incapable of cutting even a cake. He has you there, Mr. Justice. After all, evidence is everything in a court of law. But... They're right. Let me see some evidence. Of course, a perfect being like me wouldn't leave any incriminating evidence behind. Ha 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 ha. This is the final battle. Just as a samurai must live and die by the sword. You will live or die by the evidence you hold. My swift blade of judgment awaits. Now present your conclusive evidence, or don't you have any? Oh, crud. Do I have anything that conclusive? Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. You do? Of course. It's just the conclusive evidence we need too. Like say, your hand cream. Actually, guys, are you ready for the last cool things of the 3DS games? I'm going to finally prove Mayor Tenma innocent. Here comes justice. Whoa. Let's review the facts. The most damning evidence against the mayor was the crime scene itself. The mayor and the victim were the only two people found in the room. Also, we all thought the alderman was killed because he was the Amazing Ninetales. But as we know, of course, we were way off. The Amazing Ninetales is really Mayor Damien Tenma. That's why when his daughter Jinxie saw the Amazing Ninetales collapse at the scene, she mistook him for her father. Those are the facts as we have revealed. However, Mr. LaBelle asserts that he did not leave any evidence at the scene of the crime, but he didn't say anything about evidence outside the crime scene. Maybe he isn't as clever as he thinks he is. Does any of the evidence found outside the crime scene provide any clues? Hand cream or the mask? Shockingly, guys, it's the mask. A clue inside the mask? Oh, I know. The Amazing Ninetales' mask. It was found washed up along the river. What sort of clue does that mask hold? A patch of golden fur? Or white hair? White hair in the mask. And what about the hair left in the mask? Who does it belong to? Oh, the white hair is LaBelle's. Oh, right. That hair is Florence LaBelle's. Yes, now that's what I call conclusive evidence. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have any conclusive evidence to present to this court? Of course I do. Observe this mask, if you will. That mask? How is that conclusive evidence? It's not the mask itself, but the white hair inside it. We originally thought it belonged to Alderman Rex Cuby. Yes, but the Amazing Ninetales, as we now know, is Mayor Tenma, so... That is correct. So the question is, whose hair could this be? And that answer to that is the last person to have worn it before it was discarded. That would be you, Mr. Florent LaBelle. What are you talking about? I never had hideous white hair like that.
Silence.
It would appear your coup de grace failed to hit its mark. This freakish fop is not the white-haired type, because he's busy being one ludicrously garish color or another.
Objection.
No, Prosecutor Blackquill, it's you who has made a fatal error. What? Remember where this mask was found? It was washed up by the side of the river. With that in mind, this last piece of evidence will solve all the remaining riddles. It's this one.
Take that.
That's... What is that? This is Mr. LaBelle's own private brand of hair color. It washes out with just water. The court will also recall the Amazing Ninetales' mask, washed up along the side of the village river with white hair inside it. What's this? Are you saying the preening peacock's hair color is... That's exactly what I'm saying. Mr. LaBelle's hair color is a freaky work of fiction. But thanks to the river flowing through Ninetales Vale, we now have a real-life exposé. The white hair in this mask is conclusive evidence proving you're the real killer. A DNA test is all we will need to prove it, and we both know we'll get a match. Admit it. Florent LaBelle, you were the one who killed Alderman Rex Cuby. You... Peasant! How dare you! You profane my beauty like a plug and exterminate like a dead alderman! No! My makeup! Ah-ha-ha. Hello, this is LaBelle. What? The project is off? This is LaBelle. The sponsors have pulled out. LaBelle speaking. I'm fired? You mean I'm no longer Mayor Tenma's aide? Hello, this is LaBelle. What? There's a stratospheric damages claim against me? $100 million? I'm finished! Washed up! Stick a fork in me! I'm done!
This is preposterous. I, Simon Blackquill, defeated? Order, order, order in the court! He sure did have it coming. He doomed. Well, this is quite the unexpected outcome. I must hand it to you, Mr. Justice. You really turned this case on its head, just like that other lawyer, Phoenix Wright. Wait, that was a compliment, right? Prosecutor Blackquill, what have you done with Florent LaBelle? The defaced man is withered like a flower without water. One of the officers is currently tending to him with a sprinkler. Wouldn't that just wash even more of his makeup off? Allow me to explain the actions of the guilty party in detail. The motive, of course, was to steal the gold ingot known as Tenma Taro. However, few are allowed into the manor due to its cultured ties to Ninetail's Vale. LaBelle set in motion plans to gain access to the manor and the gold within via the merger, but the efforts of the amazing Ninetail saw those plans come to a halt. And thus LaBelle murdered the alderman and attempted to pin the blame on Mayor Tenma. I see, but what I still can't comprehend is why he would go after the gold in the first place. Mr. LaBelle doesn't look like someone who is in need of financial aid. LaBelle hid his past well, much like he hid his beauty with makeup. He's mired in debt. Debt due to pouring money into a brand only he could love. Which is why he sought the gold with such voracity. Too bad for him, someone else had gotten into it first anyway. I see. Very well then. I believe it's time to declare a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Damien Tenma, not guilty! Woohoo! He's still in that pose. Court is adjourned. So guys, where is Florent LaBelle on the Kill This Man list? GG's. I did it, Tragics. He gone. That was some seriously good lawyering, Apollo. Even I didn't see that coming. You were here. Just got lucky, I guess. You banished Tenma Taro from Ninetail's Vale like you were some kind of exorcist. There's still one thing I don't understand. How come Mr. LaBelle didn't kill Mayor Tenma too? He could have set it up so the mayor murdered the alderman, then died from a counterattack. That would have removed at least one possible fly from the ointment. Insufferable out of 10. It's the guy. The Phoenix guy. How high would insufferable would be? Like 6, 7, 8, 9? I was wondering that too, but I have a hunch LaBelle was biding his time. Was planning on exposing the amazing Ninetails' true identity himself. Huh? But why? Because the mayor was the amazing Ninetails. Had LaBelle succeeded in framing Mayor Tenma for the alderman's murder? The wrestler's popularity would have plummeted once his identity was revealed. Oh, I get it. If the amazing Ninetails was just killed, he'd die a hero, but if he was proved a villain, his fans would abandon him, making the merger that much easier. Right, then when the merger was complete and everything cooled down, he'd be able to search the Forbidden Chamber at his leisure. What an insanely intricate plot! Ka. A most excellent job clearing my name. A feat worthy of the Demon Lord's approval. Why are you acting like Tenma Taro again? Let this be no concern to you. How could it not concern me? Tenma Taro, be gone! Gah! Jinxie, seems like ages since I've laid eyes on you. Papa, you're finally back! Yes, it would seem Tenma Taro is no match for you. Ha ha ha.
I'm not scared of that silly yokai anymore. Your father's a free man now, Jinxie. Isn't that great? Thank you for all you've done. Seeing you guys in action, it made me feel like I don't have to be afraid anymore. Wait, is Jinxie actually smiling?
This is all thanks to you two. Too bad the amazing Ninetales will have to retire, though.
Aww, how come?
Once everyone hears I'm the amazing Ninetales, my fanbase will nosedive. After all, I'm not the most popular of people, another reason for my secret identity. I don't see how I could possibly continue.
Hehe, I think you've misjudged yourself. Take a look outside.
Say, now that you mention it, what's all that noise out there?
A big crowd gathered outside the courthouse once the news broke. Seems they want to get a glimpse of Mayor Damien Tenma, the man behind the mask, and to root for your return to the wrestling ring.
Rooting? For me? But I thought I was nothing more than a malefactor in their eyes.
The only one who really matters is Jinxie. Show her how cool you really are. Yeah, you're the coolest when you're out there fighting in the ring, Papa.
Jinxie.
Here, I think you'll be needing this. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but there you go.
Thank you. Now if you would excuse me. I don't want to keep my fans waiting.
Ninetales forever!
Yay! I sure hope they can settle the problems between Tenma Town and Ninetales Vale. Me too. I'm sure they'll be fine. After all, the blackmailer slash killer behind bars and the merger's no longer an issue. Plus the amazing Ninetales is obviously still a hit, and I suspect Ninetales Vale will be too. And it's all because we believed in our client, just like you said. Okay, people, now that we've got that one in the bag, let's go get something to eat. I'm starving. Sounds good. I've been so nervous I haven't eaten since yesterday. Better keep eating, Apollo, or you might have to start looking up at me. Huh? I'm definitely past my growth spurt phase, and you should be about past yours too. Are you kidding me? I'm just getting started. Ready or not, it's face stuffing time. Keep eating like that, and the only direction you'll grow is sideways. Very funny. But I've got a hollow leg. I can eat as much as I want without gaining an ounce. Really? Well, I can't wait to see this. Calories? Huh, just let them try to stick to me. Alright, alrighty, you two. Let's get going before the old man closes shop. Eldune's Noodles isn't an all-night stand, you know. I'm with Mr. Wright. Let's go! I've been waiting to have a bowl from there ever since Mr. Wright told me about them. Well, what are we waiting for? The noodles are on me today, so I expect some serious eating from you two. Yay! Thanks, boss! I won't let you down. Athena has no idea what she's getting into. Mr. Eldune's noodles are so hot and salty. 2 bowls would kill a man. Japanese luchador? Kinda. The Japanese actually like Mexican wrestling a lot. That's funny. So there was a Japanese lucha in 2K23? Oh, the dark age of the law seems so distant, so irrelevant to our small, cozy office. But little did I know that it had been lurking all along, right there behind us. The first time it made itself known was during the murder at Themis Legal Academy. That case would mark the twilight before the dark, cold night that was to come. Well, that's the end of Case 2, guys. How'd you like it? Did you like it? Was it good? Did you like it? Awarded! Woo! I guess next time we play this, guys, we'll be on episode 3, titled Turnabout Academy. Perfect timing. I know, right? We're down to the last 30 seconds. That was whatever. Yeah, you can see why it's not the most popular case in the world. But yeah, now we're getting to the good cases now in this game, the really good cases. Things are about to be crazy, and this time you're not gonna know who the murderer is for a very long time. But yeah, I'm gonna end stream right here, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Tomorrow will be more Moemons, and of course, more Skyrims. So look forward to it. Love you all, have a great night, and I'll see all of you tomorrow. Bye-bye!